Okay. Hello, everybody. Here we go. So we are on episode 15.
Nice.
And here we are. We got our friends here in the chat. We got Operative D, Just Another Jerk, Paul Morales, Mike Ray. Good to see you all. But anyways, yeah, so basically, oh, what was that?
What happened?
What happened?
I'm in like a wicked delay. Do you hear that? Oh, I'm on another tab talking to myself. That was freaky, man. I'm lying here. I was like, how much bourbon did I drink? I'm hearing like,
Right.
time.
Nice.
Yeah, anyway, that was very simple to figure out. Anyway, I am here with R.A. Rayne, an author, a super G.I. Joe fan, filmmaker, as well as my friend Destro here.
What's up, y'all?
Name, by the way, but we're not gonna tell you what it is.
So I feel left out here because you both are Destro and I'm called Slither, and and then Dreadnok.
Yeah.
So basically, whenever it comes up, I just say, "Call me Michael," and he can be Destro. I could be Michael. That's fine.
I also
Nice.
have a name. You can call me Mark. Whatever, or you can go whatever.
We had two marks last week. Two Destros,
right,
two marks.
Two Destros, two marks. Yeah, so it gets really.
You almost had a full house, so
Oh, we're close. It's close. Two pairs, not bad though.
Two pairs.
Nice. But anyway, yeah, so today we're going to get into 1984, which is quite a great year, making our way through the entire series, inviting different people on, meet some different new people. And so R.A., or you go, do you go by R.A., or is that more like the author kind of thing?
That is my author. I mean, friends call me Rich, so you can call me either one. Asshole works too sometimes, I'm sure my wife calls me that quite a bit, so whatever's clever.
I was just about to say, you must be married.
Actually, 30 years. Yeah. So last week it was 30 years. Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's a long time to do anything.
Yeah.
It is. There's a lot of prison sentences that end in 20. So,
Yeah, right.
She probably wanted out then, but, she stuck it out.
There you go. That's how it works.
No. We have a good marriage.
Nice.
At least I'm going to say that. I mean,
Excellent. We gone to his head just barely off camera. We don't see it, but he was just forced into saying
She's got
that.
the gun out here,
Right.
I had to say that.
Tell us about so what's your relationship with G.I. Joe there? How'd you get into it?
Wow, it goes back to the beginning.
What's a better view? Here we go. Let's do this.
I started with the cartoon when it came out, and quickly got the figures. Started reading some of the comic books back then. It was at a weird time too, because it was G.I. Joe hit right as Star Wars was starting to wind down.
Yeah.
So just as you started, back in the 80s, you could find figures all year round, whatever figure you wanted.
Yeah.
And there were pegs full of them.
Oh,
so it wasn't like now where if you miss, the initial pre-order, you're screwed. You could walk in and you could find, Cobra Commander on the shelf. Well, you can now here, at least.
Oh, yeah.
The retro Cobra Commander is still sitting on shelves at Target here.
Yes. Yeah. That's about it.
And unfortunately, because that's a great figure.
It is. Yes.
But back then, you knew one of the cool things too was you knew the waves coming out immediately, especially if you got one of the vehicles, because you got that little booklet that had everything, and you knew what was coming out, and it usually came out in two waves. You had the beginning of the year and the end of the year, but you could find everything for years to come. So yeah, I got into G.I. Joe very quickly. The Kung Fu grip made a big difference when you had Star Wars with 5 points of articulation, and now all of a sudden you could actually hold the gun up and bend them down into a crouch position.
Oh yeah.
So huge. Huge.
It was great, yeah. And the figures were, where you had the space figures with Star Wars, you had, especially the first couple waves of G.I. Joe, you had military looking guys.
Mhm.
So you could actually sit down and you could have a campaign that felt like you were, right straight out of Vietnam. Wow, I'm really
Right.
dating myself here.
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys know. I mean, you kids, you said. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I had my GI Joes out, my Star Wars weren't involved. When I had my Star Wars guys having their battles, GI Joe wasn't involved. You didn't cross platforms.
Very rarely. Yeah, that was their intention too. They originally thought they weren't going to have Cobra. They were just going to be like, you play with Cobra, but you couldn't because it would just be sad because Cobra it just looks so much better than the Star Wars figures. That's why like I just did a whole thing on like best figures, but I could only put a Star Wars figure on it because they're just not that good. Like frankly, I don't.
Especially when you look back at it. I know there's a lot of guys that love that retro line that Hasbro has now.
Oh yeah.
When they're remaking them, but when you look back at them, and it was funny, is because I was watching your episode, and with the Zartan came up, and I loved that figure as a kid. That was like when he came out, that was like my favorite character. And you're looking at that figure now, and you're looking at it. It looks like he's a transvestite. You look like he should be in Rocky Horror. But the thing about it, a lot of those figures back then. I mean, look at Mindbender. I mean, he's straight out of Rocky Horror.
Yeah,
it's like bald David Bowie from Labyrinth. Like that's what it reminds me of.
I mean, and even in my book, I had to kind of, when I put the description of Mindbender in there, I made sure to make sure he's flamboyant, that he likes to show off his physique, and he doesn't care what people think about his, what he wears.
Right.
But so I was immediately into GI Joe, and it actually took over Star Wars for the longest time for me.
Oh yeah,
because back then, obviously figures were a lot cheaper than they were, but money's money at the same time, and it got to be where my mom and dad were like, "Well, you can't get both, so you got to make a choice." So Joe started to become the main, especially because my dad was in Vietnam, and he was like, "Well, he understood GI Joe more than he understood Star Wars."
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, that's how I got into it.
Nice. All right, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I guess Star Wars kind of faded out, and then I think people think it was like around forever because it was kind of, but it was like a very background thing. After,
as they called it, the dark times.
Yeah, exactly. After sort of the Jedi, it just sort of stopped, and you watched it on VHS a lot, but there was no toys.
No, and even when they put out the droids and the Ewoks cartoon, those figures were really hard to find.
Yeah,
like even the bottom. You remember how they had on the back of the Star Wars figures? They showed all 99 figures. There was always that last row that had like Yak Face and some of these others that were impossible to find.
Right.
And I think I know, at least for me, when I stopped being able to find the figures, and I could find the GI Joes, it made it easier to make my decision as to which to keep going with.
Yeah. I mean, they were superior. What are you gonna do, right?
Right.
Let's see. We got a few people. Zayman has made it 2 lives. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah, Vader and Destro would be a fun fight. I think I'm gonna have to say that. Well, actually, in theory, Destro would get his ass kicked because Vader should be a badass. But if you go back in time, Vader back then moved kind of slow.
Right.
So
yeah.
I mean, I feel like
in theory he should be able to kill Destro pretty easily with
they can still force choking.
But he really couldn't fight back then,
It's like in that way Batman and Superman fight, like who's gonna win, but Batman puts up a fight because he's got all this shit. Destro would have a bunch of stuff developed to try to fight him, but in the end, he gets force choked to death. There's nothing you can do about it.
Probably, probably. But then again, he got his ass kicked by Obi-Wan in that terrible show, and whatever. So
and there's a few times in the comic books and things like that he got his ass kicked. I mean, hell, Luke beat him, and he barely knew the Force.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So
overlooked fact.
I guess a wrist rocket probably isn't going to get anywhere near him.
Right.
Boba Fett probably could have taken him out, and Boba Fett's kind of the Destro of the Star Wars universe.
Boba Fett in the Star Wars.
At least he was before they started doing all the tweaks and the prequels and sequels
Right.
and
Yeah. So let's talk about your book a little bit. So this is how
Sure.
I get to know Rich here. Is he sent me a copy of his book, which is great. It's really
Thank
fun,
you.
and it's a G.I. Joe novel, right? So, and it's got a ton of, what I loved about it is there's a lot of Easter eggs. There's a lot of knowledge there. There's a lot of like jokes, in jokes. There's references to other things, but it does feel like you really know the subject.
And and it's funny is because I started working on this about 4 years ago. And it was before, Skybound had the Energon verse. And I'd already started putting together the pieces within this book that other Hasbro properties would cross over. Like Matt Tracker helps finance G.I. Joe because the government, is in a place where they can't afford to, give any more money. So he becomes basically the Tony Stark kind, I guess you could say, within this world. He uses it to help, further his mask program along, which has been, silenced by the government. So, there's that aspect to it. The further you get into it, the more you see that there is a Cybertronian undertone that is being set up for future books, possibly, or more. But there's other characters that pop in and out that are throughout the Hasbroverse, I guess you'd call it.
Nice. Okay. Who else shows up?
Gem shows up.
Gem, that's right.
Nice.
Yeah,
I love that. That's awesome.
G.I. Joe gets themselves in this predicament with Cobra, where they need a PR person to come in. And because of her time as Gem, Jerrica Benton has now expanded Starlight Music into Starlight, Media. So she helps out other celebrities and whatnot that find themselves in trouble. So through Hawk knowing her father and through other circumstances within the book, Jerrica becomes intertwined, we'll say, with Duke.
Oh,
and
nice.
and helps to fix their PR image. Also helping to have G.I. Joe more of a social media presence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah.
So the Nerf makes an appearance in it.
Nice. Nice.
The R&D program has created a Nerf pellet that works as instead of using lethal weapons for the military or for the police, they have this pellet that is a retardant that expands once it's fired and hits the target, and it's the Nerf is used within the name of it. I don't want to give too much away because it's kind of cool when it pops up.
Nice.
But there's things in there that if you know, and you'll know.
Right.
But then there's things that that stand right out and are part of the lore.
Very cool. Yeah.
And I didn't shy away from anything. I included stuff from the movies, as bad as they are. There's references and there's ideas that come from the movies that are within this. So
I think there's a few ideas I like from the movies, like the amount of times they make Lady J bend over to distract people in retaliation.
Years ago, I did this pilot for a YouTube show. It was called Up, Up, Down, Down, the series, and it was right after G.I. Joe the movie had come out, and there's jokes in there about Ripcord is supposed to be a redheaded Irish guy, and the accelerator suits. Joes don't wear accelerator suits. Things like that. So my putting G.I. Joe in my work has gone way back.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
nice. What's the name of the book and where can we get it?
Right now it's not available because I'm still trying to get Hasbro on board with it.
Oh, gotcha.
The book is called Protocol G.I. Joe. I do have an Instagram that you can go to. It'll keep it update. I'll put updates up there, and when I put the book live, it'll be the first place you'll know about it.
Nice.
There you
Okay.
go. And it's over
Awesome.
my
Yeah, look at
shoulder
that.
right there.
Good stuff. It's really fun.
Yeah,
That's cool.
even the cover. If you look at the cover on the inside and out, really, there are Easter eggs there that kind of give you hints who's in the book.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Let's see.
But yeah, so yeah, there's quite a bit of in there, and it takes a place. I said it where it's around 2028, 2030. The initial idea is that after I call them the Wagner Group, which is the Wagner Group that I'm sure everybody remembers a few years ago was involved in the Ukraine-Russia war, where they're the paramilitary group that eventually tried to march on Russia, or tried to march on Russia. Tried to march on Moscow is what I'm trying to say, and ended up the leader was murdered or supposedly murdered. The idea for Cobra kind of stems out of that and these extremist groups that are starting to form around the world. So they're starting to get together and being manipulated by the Church of Cobra Law, the Coil,
Right. Nice.
is helping to set up this paramilitary group that has taken over Zimi Island, which is the island right off the coast of Ukraine, where there was the Russians came and they tried to take over the island, and there was a small band of Ukrainian fighters there that flipped them off and told them to fuck themselves, and they fought as long as they could. So Cobra has now taken, or what is becoming Cobra, takes over this island, and that's where it starts for Cobra. As they've taken over this island, they have now reshaped it into Cobra Snake Island, and have put a terradrome up. They've put a forest up, and completely fortified this island. And General Flag and General Colton and General Hawk all go in front of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, telling them they need to reinitiate the Global Initiative Joint Operatives Enforcement Protocol, GI Joe.
Right. Nice.
I got acronyms for GI Joe and for Cobra in it, so
That's pretty awesome.
yeah.
They're both great.
Instead of just turning it in, just having GI Joe versus Cobra, I wanted to give it more of a realistic sense. Set in a modern world with a lot of the things we're dealing with now.
Yeah.
Like
Joe name never makes that much sense. It's like, it's a hard sell. Cobra makes some sense. It's just you want to sound scary. You want to sound like a scary terrorist organization. You're a Cobra. That works for me.
Sounds right. It's a good call.
Yeah, so Cobra is actually, I've got to look it up because I haven't looked at it.
Oh, wait, we haven't asked, do the Misfits join Cobra? Because that would be pretty dope. That's a good point. They would be pretty good groupies for the Dreadnoks, huh?
So I have that kind of, I have this whole Bible that I've got together for what is to come. And the Misfits are involved in it. Mask plays a major part of it. And there's even crossovers between Mask characters going within the Dreadnoks or coming from the Dreadnoks into Mask. There are Transformers that are within Mask and that they don't even know about that are there. And within this book, there's a couple Transformers that make appearances that one of them I created completely. Well, I shouldn't say completely out of the blue. It does kind of lend itself to one of the characters from the Transformers 2 movie. So that's all I want to say. I don't want to give too much away from that.
Very nice.
But yeah.
Well, Roadblock.
Nice.
Roadblock, yeah. Roadblock, I still have the rhyming in it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's good. You gotta.
He gets called out for it during a mission.
Nice.
Yeah, it's I try to stay true to the characters. a lot, to how they are in the shows, in the comics, and the other books and things.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, we actually got our roadblock in the chat, along with quite a few others. Just another jerk, Zaymon, Paul Morales, Operative D, and Mission for Sparrow said he likes the shirt. It's one of them Super 7 ones. It's awesome. It's got that on the back.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, I like that a lot.
We're all showing off some quality shirt wear there. You get is it Cold Slither?
It's a Cold Slither from the concert they did at Comic-Con last year.
Oh, did you go?
I did.
Ah,
I got to meet the guys, on the floor at Comic-Con. Actually, the album behind me there has their signatures on it, which is they had a lot of different variants of the vinyl.
For sure.
So the blood red one, I ended up with two vinyls. And the blood red one, I wanted them to sign it, and they all were kind of like, "Why do you want us to sign the actual vinyl? You can't listen to it now." I'm like, "I have multiple copies. This is cool." But yeah, I actually got to know Gus, who is Zartan. He actually has a copy of the book. He is a major G.I. Joe fan.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
I mean, he's had tattoos that he had on there before. So when he sat down and wrote the album, it came from a place of love.
Nice.
It wasn't just like, they grabbed somebody and, threw him in the costume. He actually is a major fan of it.
Well, I feel like I've said this before, like all of us, like if we're on a podcast talking about it for X amount of time, there's no real, like, I don't like G.I. Joe a little bit. It's either you're relatively obsessed with it or it's not a big deal at all. Like there's not much in the middle there.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, well, because it's just so vast. There's so much to get into. It's like nothing to get. It's never boring. It's always awesome. 40 years later, still rips.
And what's funny is I'm going back and making some changes in the book. And yesterday I had on the animated series running through it.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And
yes.
Some of those episodes, you go back and you go, "Whew, wow, they're hard to watch," but you gotta love them.
I'm working on a worst G.I. Joe stories, and one of them, possibly the worst episode, is when they have like giant vegetables. There's like a giant vegetable.
Oh yeah.
And
that one just aired. I was watching that one.
When
the Cobra fuel gets lost, they have to abandon it in this local guy's greenhouse, and he's at a fair, and all of a sudden the fruit starts expanding even further and shooting at people, and people have to run for cover because they're getting attacked by grapes and bananas and stuff.
That's crazy.
Stupid. It's just one of the worst.
It's insane. It's the definition of mailing it in. They just showed up and were like, "Do the vegetable one, and we'll get back to everybody next week."
There's another good figurehead says Cobra getting taken out by preschoolers. Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah.
Well, the whole DIC. I don't really remember that because I've only watched 3 episodes of the DIC series in 30 years.
Right.
Because I hate it so much, I just could not bear it. So I don't know I gotta watch it.
It's funny if you pay attention to the part that I wrote in there. I actually mentioned DICC as an acronym. How the United States is not the best at creating acronyms for their military components. But yeah, some of those cartoons, when you look, you got to give it to the guys. There is a very strong sexual undertone with a lot of those episodes.
Oh, we're aware. We're aware.
And I mean, and they love putting the Baroness in bikinis and outfits that, you couldn't get away with doing that now in a cartoon.
No.
What's funny is how saccharine and sexless He-Man is. If you watch He-Man years, it's like it doesn't hold up in my opinion, and it's very toothless. It's just there's no sense of threat. Everybody, there's really no violence, and there's no sense that anybody's getting laid at all ever. Whereas
that's early 80s. I mean,
we're reading between the lines here.
that early 80s, you gotta remember, we're still very homophobic at the time, and those He-Man cartoons there's a lot of homoerotica in there, I guess you could say. I mean, even with some of the names, I mean, come on, Fisto? I mean, you know.
Right. And visually, they're all largely naked. Like,
oh yeah. Well, have you ever watched the Netflix series The Toys That Made Us?
Yes.
They do He-Man, and they interview the guy that came up with it, and the way he talks about He-Man is overtly sexual in a way.
Really?
Oh my god, it's just like, you know, I just needed him to be big and muscular, and he just, you know, had to be such a strong character. And you go, whoa, man, you know, I respect you. Yeah. Remember, these are for little kids, you know, that don't understand it. And God love him, Prince Adam, you know.
Oh yeah. Queen. He's totally a queen.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
The trailer for the new movie, he kind of, you know, gives you that Prince Adam vibe for a little bit, which is kind of cool that there's, you know, that they'll harken back to that, but you know, at least we're not getting a Dolph Lundgren one again.
We appreciate your Ram Man Joe. Dildozer? Is Dildozer a character? I don't remember.
What? Is it really? Yeah, I forgot about Ram Man. I mean, come on.
In the context of it all, Trapjaw somehow feels, you know, like something too.
But unfortunately, G.I. Joe wasn't immune to it either. You know, I mean, the way that Zartan rides the Chameleon, it looks like he's presenting himself.
I propose that Wetsuit and Leatherneck's relationship is odd. They bicker more than there's one point in one episode where somebody says they care about each other more than you can understand.
Oh yeah,
oh man.
I forgot how witty they made Alpine though. I mean, he has some great quips, and he's not afraid to just like let people have it too.
Well, that's the thing. It was Alpine and Bazooka were the original bickering, almost like couple. You know what I mean? Yeah. Every time I see it, I don't know if you ever seen that the Saturday Night Live cartoon skit, Ace and Gary, the ambiguous and gay duo. That just always runs through my head when I hear Alpine and Bazooka talking to each other. It's just that.
Yeah. I feel like Alpine and Bazooka feel like buddies, but Wetsuit and Leatherneck, they bicker like little bitches. Like they're bitching to each other.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like there's
some tension there.
His balls. And those guys are just a little bitchy, and I think it's fine. Whatever. I think
nothing wrong with it.
What's the episode? Is it My Favorite Things? Is that what it's called? Where they get Serpentor's axe, but somebody gets a Wetsuit, takes the dart, and he's all poisoned, so they got to get Serpentor's blood, and so they bicker the whole entire time. But then as soon as Wetsuit goes down, like Leatherneck goes insane trying to get some of that Serpentor's blood and everything, and they're mocking each other. Like leading up to that, there's like Wetsuit dives in the water, leaves the guys behind, and Leatherneck is like, oh, I guess the Marines will have to save the day again, and he jumps in after. It's just crazy. That whole episode is just that the whole time.
Yeah, they're very they're a little too angry, repressed, something going on. Although I proposed, somebody said it's just because it's like Navy versus Marines. That's like that they bicker, which is probably I guess. But.
SEALs versus the Marines.
Well, you know what the Marines say about the Navy, right? That they're only good for a ride.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like, okay, all right, let's face facts. It's like, there's not going to be at least one gay guy in GI Show.
Right.
Technically, it's probably 5%. You put 100 guys, 3 girls on an aircraft carrier for a couple of years, and something's going on there.
Right.
You know.
They haven't made port in half a decade. Nobody knows what's going on.
Marine and Navy guy, it's a thing, right? Okay.
Oh yeah, it's a classic thing. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, you were talking 1984, right?
Oh yes, yeah, so 1984. Well, wherever it goes is where we go with the.
Wait, can I? If we're not going to do pickups, can I just show off one thing?
Yeah, but hold on, I gotta adjust this. Mechanic is basically a boner. Accurate.
Oh, totally.
Go for it.
Okay. So this was by accident, but I thought you would get a kick out of seeing it.
Hold on, we're getting a weird echo. It just started.
Oh Jesus!
I got 16 Night Vipers.
Jesus Christ.
So
Wow.
it wasn't actually on purpose. So I had an order on Pulse and an order on Amazon, and they popped up. My boy Pop Cole Frenzy got this link where all of a sudden there was a few of them that were available just for like, I don't know how many it was, but they would be delivered like the next day. So I bought those and forgot to cancel my other orders, and I didn't even like know that the other ones were coming until they showed up at the door. So I don't know. I thought about I might return a few of them because that seems like a lot, but I thought you'd
buy
get a
them all.
kick out of.
I'll buy
All
it.
right, well, yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I haven't gotten one yet, so.
If
Yeah, I
you
saw
haven't gotten any.
the Dire Viper went up the other night on Hasbro Pulse for a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah, I was hoping to get a second one of those because I try with my troops. I try to do at least 4. Just create a squad.
Yeah.
Man, I definitely missed that. Well, so agreed. I only have 2 of them, and now that I saw that they're coming out with the Night Creeper, I was like, oh, they're doing more. Darn it, I want a few more because those things are not cheap if you go on like eBay.
They're
No,
really
they're. I think they're like. I think the cheapest I saw it for was like 87 or something.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get the new ones because I think you need the guys to come in with the machines, like with the like guns to make the dire track, and then you need the monsters. You know what I mean? It's kind of a pain in the ass because like right now I got 2 of them, and it's like so I got one guy being a monster, one guy being the guy that. But you really need like a guy per monster. You know what I mean?
One of the things I did was I took the extra hands and I took them off of I popped off Duke's hand and popped one of them on like he had been affected by the gas and was looking at his hand and seeing it change, and like instead of them transforming into the Dyers, and I was having them be like they were being hallucinated, like Crystal Ball had used his magic, almost like the fear stuff, the fear serum that Scarecrow has in Batman, where they would spray it, and it would affect whoever was involved, and so they would see the dire troopers with the snake head or the wolf head, and that's what they were seeing as they were being affected by the crystal ball serum or the fear serum.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of assumed. They're like they're like some sort of. Oh, it's an echo. Me? Wait, hold on. You hear that?
I do.
I don't.
Just kicked out. It's never had that before ever. Let me just see if we can. It's kind of annoying.
Is there another tab that opened up? So it's all of us.
Oh, I hear that like it's almost like there's a delayed static or something.
Okay, do we hear it now? Does anybody else have a tab open?
No, I just one thing.
Okay. Interesting.
Huh.
All right. Let's see. Super annoying.
It stopped for a minute.
Okay, can you
And
mute
then-
yours, Michael? 1 second. Okay. Are you muted?
I'm not. Yeah, I don't hear it now.
Okay. No, I hear it.
Do you?
Yeah. So is it me?
I have a mic on that might be doing it. Let me.
You
it's weird. It's I can hear it when I talk too, but when Rich does it, I don't hear it.
Interesting. Super annoying.
Let's see, I'll cover up the mic and see if it still does it.
No,
You still hear it?
Yeah, I think so. No, I don't. I don't hear it.
Somebody's speakers getting hooked up to the mic. Weird. Okay, maybe we're gonna power through.
Let me mute mine and see if it.
Okay. All right. Did you mute? Yeah, you muted yours.
Yeah.
Here, wait. Let's try it.
Hello.
What about now?
Hello? Check.
Gone.
Is it gone?
Huh.
Think
All right.
so.
There we go.
Okay, maybe it was this Rode mic.
Oh, okay, weird.
Yeah, I've never had that happen
We
before.
were talking for like 40 minutes and that
Right.
didn't happen.
Right. That's weird. Does anybody feel incredibly lucky that just stopped?
Well, no, I just turned off my Rode mic, which shouldn't be doing that. Which it may be that the microphone's picking up the sound of the speaker from. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just
maybe
guessing.
it was weird because it was going. It wasn't like we were talking for like a half hour and it didn't happen. So I don't know. Anyway, we're good. Okay, let's go on. So let's talk about 1984. What's your memories of 1984? It was a very good year. Everybody, anybody in the chat, you want to weigh in that?
That was like really the first year G.I. Joe started to deviate from standard military figures.
Beat me to it.
Yeah, you got barbecue, not barbecue. You got blowtorch, which was gorgeous.
Yeah,
game changer.
Firefly was still one of the coolest figures too. In a way, when Firefly came out, it reminded me of the hype Boba Fett got when he was coming out.
Totally, yeah.
Mark has said that numerous times that Firefly is the Boba Fett of G.I. Joe for sure, but cooler, even cooler somehow.
Right. But then as soon as Zartan hit, it was just like everything became about him because the color change and he was just so different and had a vehicle with him. Yeah.
He's a young man. The young man, 1984, you were 1 year old. Wow. Okay. That means you're a very young, I don't know, 40 something, right? Not that long.
Once you hit 40, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. It's all the same. There was a lot of movies that came out in 1984 that like I just went and looked through the list and I was like, oh my god, some of these movies I shouldn't have been watching at my age, but there was like a ton of decent movies. Remember Cloak and Dagger?
Oh yeah, I love that.
As a kid, bro, that movie was absolutely crazy. What was one? Runaway with Tom Selleck. Remember, he used to fire the bullets that used to fire. Gene Simmons was in it. I think he was like the bad guy. Yeah, they had the little spider robots that ran around, dude. The Terminator came out that year too. Yeah, crazy. Again, shouldn't have been watching it, but I definitely was watching that. I don't know if you remember. My grandmother used to watch this movie, Romancing the Stone, like Kirk Douglas. So I've seen that movie like 1,000 times. Great flick. Red Dawn. How crazy! Red Dawn. Wolverines, man. Again, another movie I should not have been watching as a kid. Never Ending Story. We were all brutally traumatized from the death of the horse. Atreyu was the horse, right?
Yeah, Atreyu was Atreyu was the character. The horse was
Malefax.
Shadowfax. No.
Shadowfax.
Was it Shadowfax?
No, the creature. What's the flying thing? I was never the biggest fan of this movie, but like,
it was the Luck Dragon, but it was Falkor.
Oh,
Falkor is Skeletor.
Oh, the voice.
The voice of Skeletor is Falkor.
Which the funny thing is, if you go back and watch the Never-Ending Story, it's like 45 minutes to an hour into the movie before they actually get into he's inside the book, basically. The whole bullying scene and everything when he's, before he goes to I forget what the land's called, when he meets Atreyu and everybody, it's like forever. It literally is the never-ending story trying to get to that part of it, the fantasy part of it.
I think it didn't. It was a weird movie as a kid. It just felt, you could tell it came from another country. There was just like a weird disconnect.
I watched it with my daughter, and it's so funny how movies nowadays are so much more fast paced because everybody's attention span is so much smaller that they get right into it, and they keep you with the action. They'll hit you with a little bit of dialogue, then they'll go right into the action and go back. But with this, there's so much setup that my daughter was like, is anything ever going to happen? I thought there was like, I've seen memes and stuff. Where is that?
I have not watched it in probably since it came out. David Lynch is doing another movie that is just, I remember I wanted to see it so bad because I thought it was going to be Star Wars. And then it's just this weird, creepy, this disturbing and boring 4-hour like slog fest. I do not like. It's like the only David Lynch movie I think I don't like.
Right.
I still don't like it. It's kind of sucks. Was 1984 Gremlins as well? Damn, Gremlins and Conan the Destroyer.
Yep. What's the Ghostbusters also?
Ghostbusters,
Ghostbusters.
There were a lot of films that year.
Yeah, Gremlins.
Police Academy.
I was
Police Academy.
Oh, Police Academy, nice. I was obsessed with Katie Cates from Gremlins. Obsessed.
Oh yeah,
love Gremlins.
Gremlins is crazy. This is another one too that I'm sure you probably remember, but for one reason or the other, like just catching it on HBO or whatever, I used to see this movie Starman with Jeff Bridges. I think he was like an alien or something. I remember where he's driving and he runs through the light and the lady's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Red means stop, green means go, yellow means drive very fast." Like that's what he picked up as being a dude. I just always remember that part from that movie. Like I said, it's one of those things, if you had HBO, you had to watch what was on. So if like they were playing that movie a lot that month and you happen to just be watching HBO, you got a whole bunch of Starman.
Last Starfighter was also that year.
Oh yeah, great one.
Ooh.
The Last Starfighter. That made me want to play video games even more.
Yeah, that is like everything, man.
The Disney movie where it's the guy that lives in a trailer park and he plays a video game and it ends up being like a test to join the Star Command or something, where he goes off and there's like a lizard-looking alien that's his co-pilot and they have to save the universe from Zurg or somebody. Zurg's, I think, is Toy Story, but
I feel like Zurg is like 50 things. Yeah,
right?
Starman. Yeah, TV series not as good. That is true. All right. Wow, a lot of movies. Totally. Oh my God. 1984, Beverly Hills Cop, Indiana Jones, Karate Kid.
Dude, this is like 5 banger movies a month.
Yeah,
right. And then also we had the Olympics that summer too. So.
Wow.
I did not even remember that.
The only reason I knew that was because my G.I. Joe field that we had set up, my battlefield that we had set up in our backyard, turned into an obstacle course for an Olympic program between my sister and brother and everybody. And which, kind of, I think I lost a few Joes in that transition.
Let's see. Let's get okay. Wait, what am I doing?
I think Transformers debuted that year too. The cartoon.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Let's look at this. All right. This is why we came here, right?
Hell yeah.
There we go.
So, let's see. 1984. Pretty incredible year. 4 figures, without a doubt. So this is 3D Joe's. So obviously thanks to 3D Joe's for their creation here, which makes it very easy for any G.I. Joe fan to look at this kind of thing. And they've created their own 3 3/4 inch figures, the Operation Recall. I don't know if is anybody getting any of those yet?
They look pretty cool. I'll tell you that.
I'm not quite collecting 3 3/4 inch right now, but I'm kind of more focused. Let's get a view where we can see all of us. Okay, I'm sort of more focused on the 6-inch everything, but I might dabble. I'm thinking
as my eyes have gotten worse, the 6-inch have gotten a lot more appealing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because when they first started coming out, especially when Star Wars started their Black Series, I was against them because I just wanted to keep with the 3 3/4. And at that time you had the 25th anniversary of Joe's were out, so it felt like the 80s again. We're collecting figures. You had all these 3 3/4, and the 6 inches I kind of stayed away from. But the Joe, now with the Joes, I think I have almost every one. I think there's like 3 that I might not have, which
nice.
I don't think the ones I know for sure I don't have right now are the Twilight Vipers and the Steel. Steel Core one, and then the 2 Barricade ones. The sets that
Oh,
the bunker ones.
Yeah, I don't have those here. I didn't get Snow Job. That's like the one. It's killing me. So,
Nice.
That's
He's
a
so
cool
good.
figure. It comes with
It's
so much stuff.
amazing. It's
Yeah.
if you told me he was the best one, I wouldn't be able to argue that. It's so insane. That backpack, forget about it.
Yeah, and the fact that almost everything fits on the backpack too is
Everything does.
Yeah. Oh, this is so. This I kind of agree with this figurehead here between Classified Valaverse and Monster Force. Yeah, I'm kind of right now. I'm thinking I have Valaverse because I work for them, but and I had a few before I started working there, but now I got a ton. And Monster Force, I'm really eyeing. I really want to get them bad, but and I like some of the He-Man shit is calling me too, so it's really hard.
Dude, I just
buy all this stuff, but the 3 3/4. However, I do think 3 3/4 is better inevitably because you can get these massive, sets and the world building. I just like the detail of the bigger ones now.
And you get more vehicles.
Yeah, you could
way more.
Right now, I was like, we were pulling down. I was like pulling down the Rattler here to play with, and you can't play with it. It's too big.
It's huge.
It's a two-hander to carry.
What are you gonna do with it? It's like it's exhausting. So it's just it's awesome, but you can't play with it. So
what's funny is everybody keeps wanting the Sky Striker as a HasLab, and I was talking to Lenny about it at Comic-Con one year, and he said he did a mock-up of it in his living room with cardboard, and that his daughter can fit inside of it. He said there's no way that. First of all, because they have a drop test. Nowadays with toys have to have so many tests. Like the flag that they made back in the 80s would never be made now because you have to be able to stand on it. You have to put so many pounds of pressure on it, so they'd have to redo the entire structure. So with planes, you have to do a drop test from so many feet in the air. And he said it's just too big that it would just crumble under the pressure of the drop.
Damn. Okay. These lashes are the best. Thank you. Awesome. Very cool. Appreciate that.
Nice. That's my dude Zaman. Speaking of 3 3/4, that dude Zaman just sent me a bunch of stuff so I could do a giveaway, and for me to keep, he gave me this guy here, the
nice.
Arctic Snake Eyes. So I am largely classified, only 6 to 6 inch, the retro or mainline, but when I first got back into it, I had an opportunity to buy like 20 or 25 carded of the coolest figures from the 25th anniversary line. So I have those carded just like over there, sitting there, that hopefully maybe someday I get to display, but I couldn't say no. It broke down to like $12 a figure, and if they're like mint condition cards, it's all the ones I want, all the cool looking ones. So yeah, that's not too bad. And I actually in I think 2008, I bought a bunch of stuff from Walmart, and part of that was a Fang, the Hiss 3, the regular Hiss, and the Awe Striker, all still in the box. So for 3 3/4 cannon, and as a tribute to my love for that and what really got me into it, I just have them over there.
Nice. Paisano 7 says my house, we just play with them. Exactly. Your son broke yeah, it happens, man. They break things, and you gotta just be like, all right, collector's item, who cares? All right, let's get into 1984 figures. So up at the top, we've got we start with our lady here,
Baroness, yes.
I think she's the only woman figure they got right. Back in the day, they just never nailed the look of the women. I guess by the time Jinx was all right. Maybe Zorana was okay, but I think the first few women, I think Scarlet's not too bad. The Cover Girl's like atrocious,
That first Scarlet, she's got that look on her face. Doc Sewage, he does all the 3 3/4 stuff. He actually plays bass in Cold Slither. He does a bunch of photos, and he had this one. Now that I'm describing it without looking at it, it's not as funny, but he just makes use. It's like they're in an HR department and they're scolding, I think, Shipwreck for something he said to Scarlet. And when they shift to that face, it just fits so perfectly. It was so good. So hilarious.
That's true. Yeah. Not quite the statue I showed earlier. This is referring to a video where somebody has 3D printed a just full on porn statue of the Baroness that you can get.
Oh my God.
Full on, just all fours, completely naked Baroness. Some absolute degenerate just made this thing and you can get on it.
We all enjoy.
I made a video on things you can get on Etsy there. So, but yeah, she's the first, I think it's just like they figured out the hair, which was like a big deal. I don't think Scarlett's too bad. But yeah, she looks a little miserable, but she's not like, she at least looks like a woman. And then
Scarlett's got that little bob cut that, she doesn't even have the ponytail.
Yeah. She's like, it's like when your girlfriend comes or wife comes to you and she's like, I got my hair cut really short. You like it, don't you? And you're like, yeah. Yeah.
I'm only saying yes because I don't want to get stabbed tonight.
Yeah.
Which is the lesser of two evils here?
Yeah.
Right. Well, do I have to live with this haircut or should I just get stabbed to death?
Yeah.
What do you think about your hair?
It doesn't matter what I think; it's what you think.
Yeah. So here we go. Now this is, she's amazing though. She gave us everybody a fetish, pretty much.
It was cool for me because I was able to so I have a sister, and at that time, she didn't want to play with GI Joes, but if I gave her the Baroness, she was more apt to participate. So it was definitely a way to shoehorn it in. I also have a ton of cousins, and I remember at certain family get-togethers trying to get somebody to just hold this so I can go up to it, and do my thing. Just you hold the figure, and yeah. So the Baroness definitely helped with that. But I think from just not just the gender awesomeness, but it's the figure itself, I think is actually really cool. Like the suit she has on looks like I don't for that time it looks futuristic, right? A little, like a super cool looking suit and an intelligence officer, and just I don't know, it sounded super cool. I love it.
Well, and also the way she was in the cartoon, the way she was portrayed. Definitely lent to the mystique and liking that character, and then when it came out, you're right. It was at the time the best female sculpt. I mean, even when you look at the Star Wars figures and things like that, they never got Princess Leia right.
No.
So she was at the time, for the size of figure that it was, she was the quintessential female character.
Yeah, I think she's probably the best female figure maybe of the era, because even He-Man had the weird bow-legged thing going on, where she's hot. Plus, she's got I thought was really good about her is the kit, she has high heel boots, sort of, right, kind of sculpted in. That was really always satisfying to kick with. Always had her, and she's a total badass. I'm in the comic, especially in the comic book, she is she has a pretty extensive kill list.
Oh yeah,
she's just, her and Zartan kill everybody.
Yeah,
I my whole thing with Destro, Mark, I remember saying this to you, is that I love Destro so much because I thought he should have been running Cobra. I used to yell at the TV, just let Destro decide. And the Baroness was so cool that I remember at one point even thinking, God, I'd rather even have the Baroness decide on what to do here. This is ridiculous. Yeah, but no, I thought she was. I think the way she is portrayed in the cartoon just takes how that figure looks. Because there's a lot of figures like that, right? Like Beachhead. If you combine his figure and his character, he's as cool as anybody, right? So I think that really goes a long way.
That's funny. Beachhead was one of those characters that back then I just didn't care for.
Really?
No,
yeah, I mean. And which is ironic because in my novel, I give him one of the coolest scenes in the book, to me at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. I guess I didn't. I was a big Duke fan in the cartoon.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm not a fan of Duke.
So when Flint came in, I wasn't. I liked Flint because he had the beret and he was different, but he also kind of still knew his role. I guess he'd still defer to Duke, you know.
Right.
But Beachhead seemed to come in and just he had that bravado about him that, you know, he was in charge, whether Duke was there or not.
Yeah. He was
You
a
know.
dickhead. He was in the cartoon.
Oh.
He's a total dickhead.
Total.
I loved it though. I don't know why.
Well, that's him. Yeah, like that might be okay. Operative sees that's why you liked him. He's a dickhead. Yeah, because he's kind of obnoxious. He's kind of fun because he's obnoxious, but he's exactly the opposite of in the file card. He's supposed to be like the most patient man. Like he just like waits and doesn't move for like 3 days and then takes a shot. You know, and that's kind of cool. But I think he's another one. He's like the male. He's like the good guy Firefly. He lives on a idea of how cool he looks and the mystery of his mask. You know, he's just but she even everything though the card art here is so good.
Yeah,
the Baroness card art is perfect. So and they just I think Ron Rudett talks about it. He's like he wanted a hot woman in a leather suit, man. He's not shy about admitting it, you know. It's very cool.
Well, even her file card description is cool, you know. She's spoiled offspring of a wealthy European aristocrat, you know.
Yeah.
Decides, you know, she wants to be a spy instead, you know, basically.
Right.
She's cool.
I have to admit, Skybound has done. I wasn't sure about her being on the Joe team when I first started reading it.
I love it.
But they've done a good job with her. And Beachhead, they've done. He's brilliant in that couple issues that he's been in.
Yeah, when he did the silent, he's more like the Beachhead you would think of in the file card. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, she's one of my favorite characters of all time. I think, you know, I just absolutely love the character.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. All right, let's go back to all right, I guess we'll just go across here. Blowtorch. This was awesome figure.
I love this figure because it was so different from all the others. It was so brightly colored. You know, he had a weapon that was outlawed by the Geneva Convention, basically.
Yeah. right.
Yeah.
That alone.
Right.
Right. It's a terrifying weapon. I mean,
it's terrifying, but the funny thing is, if you watch the cartoon, he always misses his target.
Yeah, right. Because the horror of him hitting this target, it's like you can't deal with it.
Right.
You just watch a person like burn to death for
the screaming that would have to be to make it accurate.
Oh my God.
Now, honestly, my take on this figure is largely what Rich had said, that it is such a departure from what you had seen. I think this was, to me, even though I had him and I loved him, there's a lot more figures I like more. I give him that respect of being, I think, a pivotal part of hooking me in further by having a guy like this, right? Like, you know, like in 83, they had some stuff like Destro looked different. Destro was the one that everybody was like, "Oh, what the fuck is that?" And then you were kind of in there. But I feel like with, the two things I would say, obviously, Blowtorch, how he looks and that, but like Firefly coming into existence, and then to me, well, we'll get to the ones later, but yeah, Blowtorch is one of the ones I felt was like real pivotal in me taking a step forward and being more obsessed with the line because it's just so freaking awesome.
Well, you got to wonder, if he wasn't a success, would you have like Sci-Fi and all these other really bright colored figures at that, you know, beginning of the launch or beginning, you know, the first few years of it?
I mean,
Lynn Green has the best comment here. I'm suddenly hungry for pork chop sandwiches. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, to me, he wasn't all that useful as a figure because you just like you go in a city, you can't have him. You can't.
Right.
You know, his weapon is just going to kill too many things. Accidentally, he's going to destroy too many things. But he's great. He's a great figure. I love the classified one too.
I was going to say the classified one. They did it justice. You know, I know you did that review where you're talking about the new figures coming out, and you talk about Airtight, and there's a lot of speculation. A lot of people weren't liking him, but you know. To me, he and Airtight are kind of along the same lines. The classified version, Lenny said they wanted to figure out what to do with all the little, discs that were all over his uniform and have them where they made sense. And I was so glad that they referenced that and actually came up with a good idea where their ventilation and they actually help the suit breathe and whatnot, where it makes you think that they're really thinking about these figures and the aesthetics of them.
Yeah, that's why I think if I have I think the new Airtight looks as good as Airtight can be, which has never been one of my favorites, never one that excited me very much, which means I love them all. So it's he's just like, for that year, he would be low on my list,
I'm glad at least they made the helmet come off.
But yeah, no, that's cool. I just think Blowtorch is a good example of what they could have done with Airtight, whereas they really amped him up. They gave him those discs. He looks different. Some people want a retro of him. I do not. I think he is retro. He looks enough.
It's perfect.
Leave it alone. Like the one that I have, that you can make a retro if you want, for the people who are the purists. I am not that. I don't want it. I'll
see, and that's the weird thing I've seen is a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there that are the purists that want the figures, the classified figures, to be exact replicas of the original line.
Yeah.
And then there's other people that want this to be, they can be modern versions of whatever it was. And I know when Lenny was talking about at Comic-Con one year is that they didn't want to put out, this was even before they started doing the retro line. They didn't want to make them look like the real American hero ones. They wanted them to be different. They wanted them to feel different, to be representations of the figure. So when you picked it up, you knew who that figure was, but it's similar to the original costume, not necessarily exactly like it.
Yeah. Zayman here says, yeah, that's how I think it should be. With AI, there's endless G.I. Joe stories, origin stories, new possibilities. Time for the fans to make content. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm not personally too into the AI thing yet. I do like other people are doing things with it. I can appreciate it. I think there's a lot of AI slop out there. There's actually a lot of cool stuff too. Like I've seen Roadblock here has done some cool little stories.
Definitely.
Images.
Definitely.
What I don't like about the shit they're just spamming you with on Twitter all the time, it's just like, oh, it's who wants to see the Terminator fight the Predator? And it's just like, it reduces it to a dumb level of what I've hated about movies for the past 30 years. It's like, yeah, I do kind of like it. It's like kind of fun, but it doesn't, but people are like, this is going to end cinema. I'm like, no, it's not, because there's no story. And that's the only thing we care about, people and stories. And it's just not fucking interesting if there's not a story. So if you're going to tell a story with AI, maybe that's cool. And yeah, the other thing I want to say, Zayman, here is that there are people who've been telling stories with figures for years. Like, if there's anybody, do you guys watch G.I. Joeberg? You know this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
They're awesome.
And they do
great
videos. Hello, War Chest. And welcome. There's basically, they've been doing stories, and they'll just, it's this with their toys, man. I almost think I kind of prefer that than the AI stuff at this point, because there's a human being that you can feel behind it. But I'm not opposed. I feel like there's room for AI to be.
There's some good content.
There is.
The majority of the stuff is it. If it's not, I can handle if it's good AI and the story's not that great, or if it's. But there's a lot of stories that have a good idea, but the execution doesn't come across. And sometimes it's the AI that causes it. Sometimes it's just even the way the AI voice, acting is. That
here's the thing is, like, this is where AI could be good. Don't have the AI voice, because you can do a voice yourself.
Totally.
Don't. So yeah, Zayman, yeah, we're agreement. If the fans made AI contact, maybe it'd evolve and maybe be good. I agree. Yeah, there actually is a guy, and I referenced him. I did a AI reaction video, and he makes, and I wish I could remember his channel name, but you can check. I'll put it. I'll figure it out. But he does. Yes, thank you. Figurehead is telling me the AI Dreadnok movie trailer. He did an AI Dreadnok movie trailer, and it's awesome. It's just. Super fun. It's so cool looking, It's
that I know what you're talking about. It's crazy.
Yeah, it looks really good. He put thought into it. He chose his shots and he edited the shots together rather than It's not just like, I think we've also probably seen the Brad Pitt versus Tom Cruise thing. It's just like a dumb fight between Brad Pitt,
right,
talking about Epstein or whatever. And he didn't do that. He generated the shots and they edited them together into a trailer that like works as a story. And it's really cool. So there's room. I'm not 100% anti-AI. I think there's room, but I also think a lot of it right now kind of blows. But it's fun, It's just like a goofy, like fun thing to look at. It'll evolve though. It'll be better. Duke. Here we go. So talked a little bit about Duke already. Rich, you're a big fan.
I was. I was so happy to get this figure in hand. Seeing him on the
Generation
show.
Joe, that's the name. Thank you. Sorry.
This figure, and he came with, a lot more than some of the other figures did, which was cool because you could give him a full loadout and, you had more to do with him.
Yeah. And now for me, and I don't know, did you guys get a mail order or did you get him this year? I got a mail order. So to me, he's an 83 figure.
Cobra Commander was a mail order for me. I think Duke I ended up getting in the main line.
Okay, yeah. I had gotten him already, so I think I had him at this point. And of course, he's the main dude, he was pretty cool. I think what soured me on him later was just like and now I'm coming back around because Energon is so good. And I love what they did with him because he always feels bland to me. He always feels like Mr. Bland. He feels
he's the Boy Scout. He's Captain America, and
I like Captain America. I'm a big Captain America fan. So.
He is G.I. Joe,
Right.
He's and in the book I kind of addressed that at one point where he's the face of G.I. Joe, and he needs to accept that and not just duty over. Being the face of G.I. Joe, that he can have a lot. In the book I have it where Jim is actually the one who kind of tells him is that he needs to separate being Duke, the face of G.I. Joe, and Conrad, the everyday person. And whereas in the show he was always that Boy Scout.
Yeah, he's super boring and he says weird shit in the show. He says goofy shit. But the Energon universe, they have a great take on him where he is like the most determined man alive. He's not super interesting and complex in a way because you don't want him to be. That's a totally different character. But they made him so he's just he's going to fly a fang through a window and blow it up, and he's gonna save he's gonna risk shit, and he's just the most determined guy. He's gonna fight people 10 times bigger than him. He's gonna get his ass beat. He's gonna come back, and to me that is just he's really kind of worked for me.
The idea of him facing what he faces in the first issue is great to you immediately put him at it where he's had enough.
Yes,
he does. The government is betraying him and he feels it, so he's still got to do what's right, but he needs to do this. He needs to take care of this personal matter.
Yes,
and it's his guiding force for a lot of it. So I really think that the energy I didn't want to start reading the Energon universe at first because I knew that it was, doing the crossovers like I was doing with my book, and I didn't want anything I was doing to be affected by what they were doing.
Yeah.
So I waited till I was done with the book before I started reading it. I'm glad I went back and read it because to me, it's just as good, if not better, than some of the stuff that Mike Costa was doing with IDW, with G.I. Joe and Cobra.
So good, yeah. Everything.
Nice.
What's your take on Duke, Destro? Yeah.
I love Duke. He reminded me of my grandfather. My grandfather was tall. He had that for largely in my life, he had that kind of flat topish looking kind of haircut. I also lived with my grandparents for a few years. So my parents had me when they were young. My dad was crazy. So my parents were divorced, and I lived with my grandparents for 6 years. And so I got super close with my grandfather. So I literally think that's the bulk of it. And plus, I just respected that he was the leader. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I did respect Flint in that way, and the order, the chain of command, and everything. But Duke to me was that really, you know, Rich said it again. He was GI Joe. Like my mom used to call Duke GI Joe. Oh, that must be the guy GI Joe.
Okay, yeah. So I guess, you know, this kind of also feeds into my feelings of Duke not being like just not that big of a deal for me is if you're more comic book than cartoon, he just was non-existent in the comic book. He just didn't do anything. He showed up for one issue and he was kind of a dick, and then he just disappeared for like 10 years. And then, you know, I think he starts picking him up. He starts writing Duke in like 2010. I think he started finally giving Duke like an arc and shit.
Yeah, it was a long while.
Yeah, he just does not give it. He just didn't like Duke. I've actually heard, and he's even said, he's like, of course Duke's not with Scarlet. That would be a complete violation. He's like, if he's the field commander and she's under him, to be in a relationship with her is so wrong, is so inappropriate. Like, he would never do that. He would not allow it in the military. I'm like, all right. So
I don't know if you've gotten to the part in the book yet.
Oh yeah.
But I do have where, because, you know, as a kid, you kind of assumed that they had a relationship when you watch the cartoon. You know, there always seemed to be the possibility, or at least you kind of wanted them to get together. And,
I didn't.
Yeah. But so I set it up where they have a fling, sort of have a fling, but it gets discovered. And
okay, yeah.
And it causes, there's consequences for that.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, so I think the thing is, because it's such a central relationship of the comic book, is like the comic book just so focuses on Scarlet and Snake Eyes' relationship that the idea of her being with anybody else just seems ludicrous. It just does not make any sense. In the comic book, Duke has a wife who is like kidnapped and like disappears for 30 years. She comes back. She's a doctor. She's like a wartime doctor, and comes back. He finds her after like 30 years. So yeah, that's right.
In the movie, yeah, they had the whole Baroness thing.
Like it. Yeah, which I also hate because that pisses off my other. That's even worse because now you got one relationship you can't fuck up with. I think two people who love each other more than anybody else loves each other in the world: the Destro and the Baroness.
Right.
They are like obsessed with each other. Like Destro will literally kill anybody and do anything, and they will do anything for, you know. So
real quick, let me ask you, as a Destro fans, both of you guys are Destro fans.
Yes.
Reading the comic book, watching the show back in the day.
Yeah.
Wasn't Destro kind of confusing for you a little bit, especially on the cartoon? Because the voice actor is African American.
He's clearly black.
Yeah. Clearly black.
The character, the toy obviously is Caucasian, and we know he's Scottish.
And there's like 0.001% of Scottish people are black. There's like there's a very small percentage of Scottish people.
But he has an open vest where you see his chest.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like there was always that, wait, I'm confused a little bit. Totally. And I never understood why the choice that they made for the voice acting.
And I'll tell you, I get like a comment all the time. a comment. I thought Destro was black. And like, I think he kind of is. He's kind of black. I mean, like, he's like, and you know, if you read the Energon Destro book, they went with it. They were, because like that to me read like a mixture of James Bond mixed with Shaft. It was like, you know, there's a moment he comes out and he's like, how do I look? And he's wearing like a pimp fur coat, and he's wearing like he's dressed up, and he's so styling. He's getting the girl, and he's just a badass, and it just reminds me of Shaft. And he's got I don't know. So I'm like, he kind of is half black.
That arc is amazing. If anyone hasn't read any of the Energon stuff, they definitely need to pick up that trade, because that one is amazing.
I actually have it on deck. My brother Evan, the architect, bought me like 5 or 6 of those books, and the Destro is one of them. So I really got to get into that.
Yeah. The
this is
Cobra
good.
Commander. It's really cool what they did with Cobra Commander too. But Destro, that book is really good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, the Cobra Commander and the Destro. Baroness has killed women. Destro had an inkling of. Yeah, I think she probably did kill them. Yeah, that's a really good point. I think she would kill them.
The Scarlet Jinx relationship is very interesting too. But the Destro, that book is just really good.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's definitely wearing a banana hammock underneath that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, the Pimp Destro classified figure, right there, they've definitely shafted him out in that one.
Right.
Destro's light skin. Yeah, I know. All right, let's go to a next figure here, Duke. So Duke, okay. Well, this is possibly a lot of people's favorite figure of the year. Absolutely iconic, of course. Firefly. This is what an incredible year. I think this year is like a really iconic year. I think that's why I did a previous video on. I called it the iconic year because this is where all the icons are.
Yeah,
I think the next year's the best year in my opinion. 85 is probably the best year. This is probably the second best year of G.I. Joe. Although you can debate.
86, man. I don't know. I'd have to really. 86? I think so, or at least for me personally as well, where it went from like every year is a step up and it's hooked me in more and I can tie it to certain specific figures. But that 86 run, like I remember that's when like
I can see that.
I don't remember because they had dudes like Sci-Fi and Beachhead came in. I just remember being like that year just totally completely out of my mind, and I went from being just totally in way over my head in it. So I remember going from like a super fan to like, holy shit, I can't even look at anything else because look at all this awesome shit. There's so many good characters.
It is a crazy year, 86. You got Serpentor, you got Sergeant Slaughter, you got Beachhead, it's a great year.
Zartan and Zam.
Oh yeah,
twins.
Yeah. What's your favorite
Standard? And then you had Monkey Wrench and Lifeline. Those were I love that year.
Yeah.
But 84 was the year. Honestly, was the year that changed G.I. Joe in my opinion.
Yes. Yep. I agree. It went from, like you said, that mostly military style to this whole new world. It was almost like you could tell that this wasn't just, they tried a figure or two, that they were going this way, right? We're going to get more of these offbeat ones that, like, and to me, they didn't miss. Like,
well, remember, 84, we had Storm Shadow, and that, right there changed Snake Eyes immediately.
100%.
Because up until then, he was just a commando.
Yeah.
Then, when 84 hit, obviously you didn't get the figure with Timber that year, but that's when they started making that change to his character.
Right.
Yeah.
What percentage do you like your Snake Eyes? Like I'm a 65-35, 65% Commando, 35% Ninja.
Nailed it. 100%.
Yeah, me too.
Nice.
I love how he's written in the comic books. I love that he's more commando and more of a military strategist than a ninja.
Right.
Although I don't mind the ninja part of it.
Right. The ninja helps him be a better commando. That's how
it should be. When he goes too much and it's too much into the ninja, he's annoying and he gets he loses me. He's probably my favorite character of all time, but I'm not saying but it's too much ninja all the time. And I think there's a lot of people who hate Snake Eyes. I think because he's shoved down their throats. Maybe if you don't read the comic book too, I think he's pretty one note. But if you read the comic book, he's the most complex character.
The silent issue that they did, is one of the best G.I. Joe issues that's ever been done.
Definitely.
Oh wow, Mike Ray says 87 was the peak year.
Ooh.
Wow. Yeah, you like him weird. You like it weird. I can see that. It's an argument for it being the best year, I think.
Yeah. But this year though is where we get Firefly and Scrap Iron, to me are literally right up there as the top Cobra. Like they're just the amazing. So we definitely got a bunch of a bunch of icons, and it's definitely changed. It's definitely is when everything changed for sure.
As the first year, we got animals. I mean, we had Junkyard and Freedom.
Yep, first one. Oh yeah, that's right. They're both. Oh my god. Yeah.
War Chest says he's glad. Yeah. So Snake Eyes is not even entered into the Energon universe, and it's very cool because you think when they do introduce him, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
That's all you can think is like they're saving him, and it's good because it actually leaves breathing room for all these other characters. Although Snake Eyes, in the cartoon, they didn't give a shit about Snake Eyes. He was not a feature. He was not.
Well, think about it,
mascot.
He wasn't even Storm Shadow's main enemy. Spirit was.
Spirit was. Spirit had something for that ass.
All right, let's weigh in on Firefly. Yeah, what was your feeling?
That figure was it was gold. I love that figure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was the fact that he was, there's so many different cool things, but the saboteur part, right? That was like as a kid, it was like again, that movie that came out that year, Cloak and Dagger. Like I loved that shit. And so Firefly was like this sneaky dude. And I think this is where card art started to come into play like immensely, in the sense that like the Blowtorch card art, I think is just, you could stare at that. But the Firefly card art really like almost gives you what the character is. Seeing as how little he was used in the cartoons, you get so much of that character just from that card art. I mean, look at how awesome that is. That backpack, fucking forget about it, dude. Did any of you guys have, they actually came out with the Saboteur backpack. It looked just like them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have it.
Awesome.
I think I gotta go back and get one. I just noticed he's holding his gun wrong.
They all do. They all do. I think it has something to do with not holding it in like. They all hold it ridiculous.
Now he's holding the pistol correctly, but the rifle, he's definitely not holding it correctly.
Yeah, if you look at like the trooper that holds it's like almost looks like a sniper, but he's holding it by like the stock and the thing. Most of them don't hold it by like the grip and like where the trigger is. They're holding it all fucking weird.
I noticed that bizarrely enough, having stared at this shit all the time for the past years, whatever.
But I feel like despite his popularity, he's probably the most underrated G.I. Joe, only because like he should be talked about not as much as Snake Eyes maybe, but like you ask people their top 5 lists, he doesn't show up on a lot of top 5 lists, and that's shocking to me.
I find he's top 1.
Okay.
I find he is very often the top 1, and I feel like he just has no presence in any of the media. He just doesn't.
Right.
He never does anything. He's like, which is so weird because he's so he has an obsessive fan base. I think he and Beach had both. Like they just don't get to do a lot, but they are just loved for some reason.
But see, to me, it's that mystique that Boba Fett had early on.
Mm-hmm.
That he, like you said, when Boba Fett shows up in Empire, he basically says nothing and does nothing.
Right, he does nothing. He dies.
Nothing.
And people loved him for 40 years or how many years until episode 2 came out, and you're going, wait, he's just a whiny little kid, that lost his dad. No, come on, he's supposed to be the best bounty hunter in the and to me, being the best bounty hunter in the galaxy is the same thing as what Firefly was as a saboteur. It's like he never misses a target. He's always putting the explosives where he needs. Like even in the cartoon, to the degree that Cobra Commander would go to him when he knew he wanted to get a job and it was going to be done right.
Yeah. And he's also, and then of course you're right with the mystery is what's cool about him, because then when they get rid of the mystery, he sucks. Yeah, and they finally tell you the story, and it's like he's yet another person who was a ninja, who was a secret, and it feels like Larry Hama doing his like greatest hits over again. And it's just like it's just one of the worst stories.
And it just you found out more about why he does what he does and how he got his scarred face and all this stuff. It takes away that mystique.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was great. He's definitely right up there. I remember I for some reason I remember not being able to get him at first as a kid. Like you see it on the card back, you knew it was out, you saw somebody else with it, and then I just remember like it took forever for me to see it in a store. I think largely because it
And
was
that tells you how great he was then, because he
100%.
was one. I mean, figures back then. You had 13, 14 pegs, and they were always like 10 deep, and you
Yeah.
always knew which was the most popular figure because it was the one that you couldn't find or barely could find.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is the next figure, man, and this is a banger here.
All
This is
timer
one
too.
of my favorite of all time, honestly. I like this. The weirdness of this figure too. He's wearing why is he wearing a muzzle? Who's got the theory of why this man wears a muzzle?
And the fact that they named him Mutt and the dog Junkyard.
Yes, it's amazing.
Back then, remember, there was a wrestler that was the Junkyard Dog.
Yes.
That was out around the same time.
Loved
and now you're having the dog be the name Junkyard.
Yeah.
And the man, and it was like, wait, and their dynamic in the cartoon was classic too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, it was great. And he would bite people and he would snort. And I think he has one of the best face sculpts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
We find the face sculpt. This is like just one of the absolute best.
Definitely.
One of the things that he plays with for me is like one of the things I love about G.I. Joe is that you got a lot of heroic characters that don't necessarily look like the hero. They're not all like beautiful, square-jawed, perfect bodied, you know what I mean? Which I think a lot of times like superheroes get into that. Everybody pretty much looks the same. And then you get this group of guys, they look like your uncle.
Janitors.
You know what I mean?
They look like janitors.
They look like janitors, yeah. They look like your uncle or janitor or us, really. They look like regular guys.
Right.
And then this guy looks like a weird uncle. He's like the uncle where you're like, oh, maybe it'd be good if he left a little early, you know.
Right. Hopefully he leaves right after the dinner.
Yeah.
On the file card even mentions he likes, he gets along better with dogs than people.
Yeah.
Right there tells you something about the guy.
Why does he wear the muzzle? What do you think's going on there? Did you come up with that does he fit in your G.I. Joe universe? Why that muzzle's there?
Gas mask.
I like the idea that he bites people. I think that's a great. I don't know if I have much Mutt in the book. I didn't use. There's so many characters to choose from. It's hard to.
Yeah.
But I would definitely want to explore that part of it, and one of the things I'm writing.
Here's my theory: Shipwreck gave it to him as a joke.
Okay,
one of the dickheads or Snow Job, because Snow Job would have been because there's a couple of characters that are just dickheads who bust balls, and the kings I think are Shipwreck is the number one, probably the worst ball buster in the G.I. Joe universe, and then the other one is Snow Job.
Oh yeah,
right. Snow Job fuck with you like endlessly, and that's my theories. That's what I'm coming up with. Snow Job bought it for him as a joke, and he wears it.
I love that, dude. That's awesome. That's awesome. You keep telling him, keep that muzzle on your breath's worth than a dog's breath.
Yeah. Anybody have any
other
I
was just reading this file card. It literally says at the bottom of it, if you're sitting next to Mutt in a mess hall, don't try filching anything away from his tray. He'll bite your leg off.
Yeah.
I love that they put that right on the card.
Yeah, it's so good. So good.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best face sculpts ever.
Oh yeah.
Now the muzzle doesn't fit very well. It looks very big on him. But man, is it cool.
It's awesome.
It's wrapped around his head.
Well, back then it was hard to get things to scale, especially when you're trying to fasten it like they have it, because that wasn't just like something that you just like the modern stuff where it fits over the head completely. You actually strapped it onto him.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is the first pets this year. Okay. Right. You said it's a good point, right?
Yeah.
First pets. It's pretty cool.
And also talk about a glow up Unclassified. That set is just. You have that, Mark? The Mutt Junkyard.
God, yeah, it's one of.
Man,
I think it's the best of the year.
Yeah.
That's my best figure of 2023. I think.
That's completely.
Yeah, it's the last year, 2023.
My dude Marky Potter took like a little sandpaper to his like vest and made it look like worn, like the dog was just jumping
Oh,
on him the whole
nice.
time. Yeah, and it looks fantastic. That dude's awesome. He takes great pictures, does a great
And
job.
his loadout, I mean, there was so much. You know, the different hands
Yeah.
and Junkyard had like what, 3 heads, 2 heads, something like that. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Crazy.
there was just
crazy,
so much
crazy.
that went with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you're thinking is protect him in a fight. There you go. That works.
Okay.
Nice. All right, let's go to the next guy. I think this is one of the best. One of the best. Well, at the end, we'll go to what's our favorite of the year. Okay, another just banger of a character here, Rakondo, and I'm loving the classified Rakondo because the classified Rakondo rights a wrong, which is the one thing this figure needed a machete.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You just need machete and preferably some Tukaro warriors by his side. But he needs a machete. And the one thing is what's great is the Bivouac came with a machete. And the first thing I did was I put it in his hand and it never left his hand, you know.
Nice.
Dude, and that stash that he had. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing right there by itself is classic. He can almost be classified as an animal on his face.
What year did Crocodile Dundee come out as the question? Because to me, he was Crocodile Dundee, right? Like
Right.
And he is semi based on, I think, 1986. Okay. So no, that wouldn't have worked.
I think I remember thinking he looked okay, but at this point, with all these other figures, he was way down on the want list, right? Nothing wrong with him at all. Just kind of like, I'd rather have Mut or Junkyard or any, like almost everyone that we've mentioned so far. But he's still, that's not his fault that he was, born in an era with such iconic fucking releases. It is what it is.
And even his rifle had the bandage wrap around it.
Yes.
Right.
So it was a unique figure.
Yeah,
definitely the hat with the.
And at this point, they weren't giving you a lot of weapons yet, but he was except for a few characters. You do Australian and Action Force. Oh yeah, it's that. Yeah, right. Because that's what he's based on. I think the look is. But
well, the funny thing is, I used to think that Crocodile Dundee was based off of him as a kid.
Yeah, I think I did too. Honestly, I don't know.
Oh look, he's trying to act like Rakondo.
Right.
Great art, man. That art is so good. Here's what blows my mind is how good the art was now and how horrible the retro card back art is now.
It's great.
The Flint?
Dog shit. It's so
the
bad.
Flint one was so bad.
The Flint one's horrible, but all of it's bad. I don't think there's a single one of those figures, except maybe the Flint. The secondary Flint was pretty good. All of it is mediocre to terrible.
Right. Fellatio face Flint.
What's so weird is they have these like amazing artists. Like they got this Oliver Barrett guy did the Destro art for the Destro package, and he's like one of the best artists like around. Like his stuff is like gorgeous. And then they go to these. I don't know where I'm insulting somebody's work, which kind of sucks. I feel bad about that. But anyway,
to me, the worst part about the retro cards is that the file cards. It's not a full file card.
What is that?
Yeah. Right.
I understand it. They've got to show the different. They got to put it into different languages because they're selling it, worldwide. But the file cards are at least use the original file card.
You know what? Right. Everybody else in the world can read English, though. Like we're the only ones who refuse to learn a second language.
Right.
But just like they're fine with it. They're fine. They're used to it. It's not that big of a deal. Yes.
Don't they have an app for that yet? You just take a picture and it'll translate for you.
The card art trying to redo the exact Hector Garrido. Yeah, it doesn't even come close. I don't even know what. All right, we'll move on from Rakondo. And any of the last words on Rakondo?
Good to go, brother.
You haven't cared too much about him.
No, he's a fun character, but he wasn't. There were so many more exciting figures than this wave that year that he, like you said, he gets lost in the shuffle.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to I think we'll do the vehicle drivers with their vehicles just to get there. So there's another Halo jumper. What were you feeling? See, I think he's in the same. I don't know. What are your feelings on this guy?
the mask had me. I'm a sucker for a hose, so the mask and the hose I thought really is what made the whole figure. Otherwise, he did. Oh, and he did have more of the. He's like a green character, but he's got a lot of black into the camo, and that kind of caught my eye with the black mask. I thought he was cool. I didn't buy him out like at first. I got him in like a trade later.
Ripcord was fun to play with with the parachute, the old GI Joe parachute. Because you can throw him up in the air, and watch him come down, and the fact that his rifle fit onto his backpack was a major sell too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I loved him. He has a really good arc in the comic book. He falls a lot of the bongo, the balloon. Why am I blanking? Save me here with
no, I just let you go. Come on.
In the comments, what's the hot girl Candy, the balloon, right. I'm dating a clown's daughter. Where's Melted Copper here? I should know about balloon bears and shit. This is an ongoing joke here that is Melted Copper not here? Did he leave? Come on.
Wait, hold on. That's a good point. Where is he? He's
always here. He usually makes fun of me because it came out that my girlfriend's father was a clown, so which we're all afraid of clowns because we're from the 80s.
He's
older guys were afraid of clowns. But
he says it 10 times a show.
And then he gets she dies horribly, and then he goes in this and he fights Zartan on an island. It's like a really cool enemy mine kind of thing, just like two people in an island for like a whole issue. And so he had appeal for me for that. But yeah, he's less exciting. When they do a classified, which pisses me off, they did Crazy Legs, and he didn't come up with a parachute. Give him a fucking parachute.
Crazy.
It'd be great to have a parachute.
Just why not? Why not give him a parachute?
The Night Force Ripcord is completely off the hook. Awesome. I love that figure. Yeah. I don't have the Dragonfly, but I bought that figure because it was an opportunity. I'd made a trade, and that's the guy who actually threw in the Range Viper. I don't know if you remember that, my boy.
Oh yeah,
Rock Lockdown. Yeah, I finally got one of those. But yeah. I liked him a lot for the look that he had. That mask and that hose were awesome.
Which explains why we don't have him yet in classified, because anything that's done in a HasLab has to wait a 3-year period before it can be released to the general public.
We have Crazy Legs though, so they could.
Right. We got our windows.
But I think that it may be coming up on the 3rd year as it's coming out.
Oh, maybe. Well, yeah, okay.
Because that's why the His Tank now is coming out as Arctic.
I don't know why you chose Crazy Legs over Ripcord, because I've never loved Crazy Legs, but either way, both
crazy
have a parachute, because they're not very interesting if they don't have a parachute, and they already had the parachute with the Halo jumper, which is great.
Yeah,
right.
I didn't get it, but it looks amazing. Okay. Oh wow! Now our last four of just figures is absolutely iconic here. So let's get into possibly. I think he's almost like, to me, he's the number 2. Not for me. He's probably he's up there for me though, but he's probably the number 2 most iconic G.I. Joe character. Right? It goes Snake Eyes, Roadblock.
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe Scarlet, then maybe Duke.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Well, because is larger than life, even when he's when he's on screen, and that rhyming always catches your attention. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's hard for me to separate how I feel about the characters and how everybody else. Maybe Roadblock is just as much. I can't argue with that. I would think Duke maybe a little more. Like even my mom thought that Duke was G.I. Joe, but at the same time, I don't know, brother, you could be right.
I think because if you meld all the worlds together, you have to go where's a person interacting with G.I. Joe?
Right.
And many of the iterations, Duke is not that important.
Sure.
For instance, in the movies, he's dead by the second movie, and he's pretty terrible in the first movie. So where Roadblock is one of the consistents, he's always there. He's in every version of G.I. Joe. Mm-hmm. He's sort of a major. He has a huge role, and Larry Hama likes him. So he's
also one of the most fleshed out characters in the cartoon series.
Yeah,
you know more about him than most of the Joes.
Yeah. So we get him in, and then even like Devil's Due, ID, they all love him. So he gets a lot of play. I feel like he's the biggest. I think he's the second most important character.
I definitely give him his due in my book. I mean,
Yes.
I have some really cool things I do with him that I tried to there were certain characters that I tried to feature a little bit more than others without being too much, but Roadblock was definitely one of the ones that is a standout within my universe, and I know with other verses as well.
He's like the strong man too. He's like the biggest, strongest. Him and Gung Ho, I would say, the biggest, strong, and Slaughter.
Right.
Roadblock is top 10. Yeah, I like Stalker better, like just a hair better, I would say. So but I think he's up there. He would probably be in my top. He'd definitely be up there for me. But a lot of the characters that resonate with me are characters that don't get a lot of play. Like Shipwreck is almost exists only in the cartoon and doesn't have any. So I think why I think he's so iconic is just that love that he gets in basically every iteration.
Sure.
Well, Stalker is definitely a more a darker character.
Yeah.
And he's a more fascinating character than Roadblock. Roadblock can sometimes get a little cartoonish.
Yeah.
But
right.
Yeah, when you're comparing the two of them, but he's still, he has his place.
Yeah. He's a soul, J. Joe. Yeah, I don't know. He's pretty great though. Just as like the big guy. He holds that space. It's just being just a brawler. Holding that Madus, that's crazy. So what are your feelings on him?
Well, this to me is the definitive look of Roadblock. Like for me, this is the one. There's a bunch of different ones classified. I don't hate the classified ones as much as other people do, but it's still not what this is what he's supposed to look like. So they do have the heavy gunner where he's dressed a little like this, but then he comes with that Gatling that he's got to have a Madus. So then you have the Tiger Force. The Tiger Force Roadblock comes with the loadout, that's similar to this with the backpack and the tripod and all that. And yeah, no, I thought that this was awesome. If I remember correctly, didn't buy him. I think I traded for his weapons though. Like the person didn't want to give up the figure, but he was like, "I'll trade you the weapons," and I was like, "Absolutely, give me that." And that stayed with my bivouac.
Dude, he's one of the only Joes that can fire a 50 caliber weapon, standing up,
which most people could not. He's the best bald figure. Yeah, him and Gung Ho. There's a good bald representation. I appreciate it as a bald man. I appreciate
nice.
Representation. Darker. What the fuck? I think he was referring to darker and more disturbing.
Oh no,
you're fucking with us. I get it.
No, yeah, I
know. We know you're teasing. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because we're all Gen X, which means we all have a sense of humor about shit. Nobody's offended.
Right.
On any of this. Right?
My brother G.I. Joe Guy 84, that's Comrade Hauser. He says I agree with Destro too, which I think was me. We need a retro Roadblock. I want him to be almost as big as Nemesis Enforcer. Yes. See, that's the thing, because if you put the Gung Ho next to any of these Roadblocks, it's not. Gung Ho's bigger. He's not supposed to be bigger. Roadblock is supposed to be comically bigger than everybody else, right? So yeah, I agree with my dude Conrad. Conrad, what's up, brother? Good to see you.
I feel like the Roadblock's good with the lack of the gun is just kills the figure. But
right.
Yeah, he would be a great retro card release. Why not release him? Give him the gun, give him you can even use the same, buck and just give him the gun and it'd be perfect.
Right.
What do you mean, you people?
Nice.
Great. All right, let's go to Roadblock. Okay, Scrap Iron. This was a great figure, man.
Love this figure.
Yeah. I loved his face. Looks so like pockmarked and just like bad skin, just. Also, the Scrap Iron is to me one of the best classified figures.
Oh yes. Yeah. To me, this with that little missile system thing that he had, I don't know what it was about that, but that shit sent me through the stratosphere. I felt beyond in love. I remember walking up and seeing the card art, and then like being like, wait, does the thing actually come with it? Does he have the thing? And I'm looking, it's like, he has the thing. Holy shit, he has the thing. Yeah, man. Looking back at it more recently, it's like, I think I was just as excited taking that off the shelf as I was just about any other figure, with maybe thereabouts. I don't know. He's got that iconic deep navy blue with the kind of deeper red on, and his helmet just looked like, it was the way his eyes were covered, so it was like not a full face, but just still something like looked practical to what he had. He still came with a sidearm. I don't know, man. This is what did it for me. This is like, and again, I also not only do I love pairing him up with Firefly for certain things, I feel like they're equally underutilized in everywhere, right? They could, a guy that, so being a huge Destro guy, right? He worked for Destro. Like, I took that part very seriously. It's never talked about in the cartoon or anything like that, but I took that tidbit off the back of his fucking file card and like legitimately ran with that. I had him right with Destro, right? They would, every time. We would go over the his tank, and they would both look at the his tank, and he would be like, "All right, let's roll that thing out of here. We're good to go." So no, this is a top 5 character figure for me.
Now you made me think. Somebody said you got him on clearance here, and the weapon system is a star. So I might want to pick up another one just to get a second weapon system. You could definitely have 2 drones running. Oh, let me know.
Weapon system is awesome.
It's so
It's
good.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's
A couple
amazing.
of things about this original figure, though. One, the stand, because it would break apart so easily. Not very easily, like not in an annoying way, but like you could break it, you could blow it up, which was really fun. And the second thing that really stood out for me, the character, was, I don't know if anybody else did this. To me, that remote control was an electric whip.
Perfect.
Nice.
Because it was kind of like, nobody who gives a shit about remote control. Like, they should have a wireless remote control at this point.
Right. For sure.
Yeah, no, I always had him paired up with Firefly, and they were the 2 that Cobra Commander would send out to when he wanted to make sure something got destroyed.
Right. Definitely. I don't know what it is. They're like the masters of disaster.
Yeah.
That was one of those figures that as soon as I saw it in that little pamphlet that they gave, that they had, I was like, all right, I'm getting him no matter what.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah, definitely. So good. Oh, we got a question here. Which year did Roadblock have a better look? What's your opinion?
This is the year.
I've got this was the Roadblock that I loved. I always associate the version 2 with the movie, and I always thought, he's cold. Why is he out in in the snow in this outfit?
Right.
But it was a gray outfit. It could go almost, it almost felt like it was like his winter garb, but it doesn't make any sense. It's winter garb because he's like short sleeves and shit.
Yeah. No, the classic version was always mine.
So there's this version of Roadblock, which came with this special the DVD set and the vines. I think that's pretty damn close to that, but I also really like this one too. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we got a few fans of 1986 Roadblock. Nah, he's okay. He's okay.
Yeah, it's all right, but
I'm not saying I hate it. I just, I prefer the original version over the version 2.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, what are this guy? Greatest of all time. One of the greats.
Yes.
100%.
Love Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different parts of this that to me are like elite. So like somehow I think even as a kid I remember being like, they found a way to make him so obviously Native American dressed, but he still looks like he's in a military uniform.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that was so fucking cool. Like the little red thing in the front, just all how the shirt, the color, how they did it. I thought his backpack is one of my favorite backpacks. I think that weapon is one of my favorite weapons, dude. I mean, it was like
A
they
rifle that
found,
fires arrows. Come on.
Yeah.
and they
Not
did
very
it.
good. That would not be
They-
very good at all.
but somehow when you looked at that thing, it looked awesome. It really did. I don't know. I absolutely loved it. That comes with the bird. It was one of those ones that like every time I would go, I would pick up another figure instead, and then I got him eventually. But looking at his card art and all that, it's there's a lot of figures that I didn't get initially that were just still so important to have in the line, and how much I loved it. So yeah, he's one of them for sure. It's awesome.
Favorite character. Yeah. I mean, he's really up there for me. I mean, it's hard to say because now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, man, if I was to do favorite characters, it'd be a fight for like top.
Oh,
It would be
it's
fight for
so-
top for spot 4. I think it would be like a 20 person
Sure.
fight for spot 4.
Right.
Yeah.
And his
I know
classified
Walter-
figure is amazing.
Yeah,
so good.
Conrad says that too. The spirit figure is comically underrated. I also think it's criminally underrated. And don't forget the Mad Marauders spirit that comes in that 2-pack, because that is also unbelievable. Now that's not the original, right? The original is obviously way better, but don't sleep on that Mad Marauders one.
Yeah.
He's one of those characters that I did feature in the book, and I actually gave him a daughter that
cool.
inherits the mantle of freedom because freedom passes away, and there's a whole thing with, because this takes place after GI Joe's already existed, so this is GI Joe being brought back. So I didn't want I wanted it to be a little bit older, but yeah, I created a daughter who is taking the mantle of freedom for in honor of freedom.
That's cool.
But
you go.
that character is he is such an interesting character. Even in the cartoon, he was so interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, he really holds out the cartoon. Again, he's another one underused in everything but the cartoon. The only thing that uses him at all is the cartoon. He's very cool in the cartoon.
Definitely.
Larry maybe a couple times hints at maybe using him and then doesn't.
Well, he was interesting to put against Storm Shadow, being that he's very spiritual, and they both have this mystical element to them, because you couldn't really do that with Snake Eyes because you're only having one character talk,
Right.
and in a cartoon, especially for kids, that doesn't really play very well.
Right.
So you
right.
You do Storm Shadow versus a Spirit, and you get this really good dichotomy that you still could have with Snake Eyes, but you're still getting it, with a character that actually can speak.
Yeah. Man, that bird was so fun to have fly and just like take out cobras, you just clawing cobras' eyes out and shit,
He catches Storm Shadow's throwing star.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
They did use him. He shows up. IDW uses him. Devils do use him a little bit. He's not completely absent. He just never gets a great arc, I feel like.
It's also just another amazing way that GI Joe went way out of their way to be inclusive to just different kinds of people, because they didn't just like give you some Indian tracker dude. They gave you one of the best fucking figures of all time. That shit goes so hard.
And that's
You
the
gotta
thing
give
is,
it-
like, there's a lot of talk about diversity, and like there's a lot of people complaining about it, which I don't get. Like, that's crazy.
Right.
Like,
You're out of your mind.
like, because you come from GI Joe, it's like, well, there was just diversity all the time. It was awesome. It was added to the story. It was a good thing. It was like,
Right.
I understand like some people complain about it now when they do it in Star Wars. They do it because it feels forced. I think like, if you're complaining about it because you don't like diversity, like, fuck you, you're a fucking psychopath. But if you complain about it because it feels forced, it's just like, it just never felt forced ever in GI Joe. Nobody ever questioned it, but it was so diverse from day one.
It's core tenet.
It's always been inclusive. And and I doing it just for the sake of doing it is where it ruins it. Like, I know this is going to cause a lot of problem with people. Matt Tracker.
Mm-hmm.
The change with Matt Tracker to me feels forced.
It feels forced.
Instead of
Right.
you
Yeah.
could have given him a a half brother or something that
Right. Right.
comes in and replaces Matt Tracker. Matt Tracker dies and he's taking over
Right.
Tracker Tacker. And you could have done that where you can still pay tribute to the character that you want and have have the mantle there, but you're not forcing it down people's throats and saying, okay, we're making the change just because we need to add more diversity.
Well, the other thing is you have also in Matt, like I don't really care too much. I'm not gonna, but if you have Hondo, who I thought was he was probably my favorite mask character, and he's not really, you have Bruce Sato, Hondo. There's a handful of characters,
Right?
Just move them up to be cooler, more important, and just for me that that's what I think in like Larry Hama really in G.I. Joe, like Stalker is he almost feels like second in command. Like he's he's like one of the most important characters, and it's just you have the characters, they're there, move them up, because it's like you ask well, why do they do it? And it's like the only reason they did it is because it feels forced.
Well, see, G.I. Joe is also one of the only one of these franchises that you can change somebody's appearance and keep their code name. Because you can use it as a code name, and but if you change their original name to whatever gender or whatever nationality that you're changing it to, you can still use the same code name. It's like Ripcord in the G.I. Joe movie. Never bothered me that.
Yeah, it didn't really bother me. I don't really care.
Yeah, Matt Tracker, it doesn't bother me that much, but it's just that it does feel forced. Where G.I. Joe had inclusion, and Mask did too. The original Mask had inclusion without really feeling like it was throwing it down your throat or pushing it on you.
Yeah,
and I think
exactly.
That's where people get upset with it.
It wasn't that's the thing is Mask did have it had it had Julio Lopez, it had a Native American guy, it had Bruce Sato. But the big thing was G.I. Joe had you didn't have one character, you had tons of characters, which was so cool about it.
And everybody had equal screen time.
Yeah, exactly. So it was I don't know. So yeah, I agree. I just the Matt Tracker is a holdover from the IDW, which was they love doing this shit. It's not a thing that bothers me too much. I don't really care about it too much, but it does feel like it feels forced. Yeah, I agree.
Well, about 2000, I want to say 12 or something, they did a box set for Comic-Con.
Yeah,
and that's where they made the change to the look. And then IDW picked up from that and went on to do the book, and he stayed that way since.
Yeah. But those IDW did it also to Visionaries, did it to everything. It was all of them, and it's just again, I'm not a big it doesn't bother me. Okay, I think his movies, it can be done well because sometimes the actor is just great, and the actor sells it. But if it's a comic book, there's no actor. But all right, let's get back to Hooded Cobra Commander. This is a mail away, and damn, was this was just an awesome figure. This is my Cobra Commander. I'm a fan of the hood. Personally, I like the hood. What do you think? Do you prefer hood or helmet? Do you like yours uncircumcised or circumcised?
I love the hood. I understand completely why we won't get one, which is why I ordered the Monster Force agent who will be here Friday.
Nice.
To put the hood. I actually have a hooded Cobra Commander where I 3D printed one.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
There you go.
I completely understand, for legal reasons why we won't get one in classified, and
it's probably coming. I think they're over that.
I don't know, because the last time I talked to Lenny about it at Comic-Con, he said that legal will not even allow them to talk about it. They're not even allowed to. If somebody brings it up to them, all they can say is, "Yeah,
Oh God, it's so ridiculous. He just does not look anything like a KKK. If I thought he looked like a KKK member, I wouldn't want him.
Well, I think on one of your, I think on one of your shows, you mentioned that all it takes is one person to paint it white and and make a comment, and they're done.
Right. I think everybody's over it though. Nobody cares. Like many people talk to me in the comments saying it just doesn't make. They don't care. They don't see it. So anyway, going back to, I just thought I love this figure.
I love this figure.
It's creepy. He looks like an executioner. He's creepy, and he's disturbing, and it just makes sense. He goes into battle. He's got the helmet. He's sitting at home. He's got the hood. You know, whatever. No, what's your take?
I loved it as a kid, and I think as an adult, I think I understand it more. That I really appreciate the battle mask, because the hood, you can see his human skin around his eyes, and that took so much of the mystery out of it for me. So that's why I think I always like the battle mask more. But don't get me wrong, the hood is absolutely amazing. But to me, that Cobra Commander battle mask, if you're making the Mount Rushmore villains and you're putting Cobra Commander up there, it's good. I think I'd rather have him have the battle mask. It's more recognizable. I think that's the one that, like, outside of, say, actual G.I. Joe fans, like, I think if you put it out there randomly in like a pop culture thing, I think people would be like, oh, that's that Cobra guy or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's no knock on the hood. I think it looks absolutely amazing. I ordered this figure. I had it. I loved it. It's fucking fantastic. And but if I gun to my head, I have to choose one. I'm taking the battle mask.
Okay.
The hood is definitely the executioner look. It gives you more of a sinister look and feel to the character. The silver plated battle mask, IDW did a great version where it had fangs built into the mask around it, which I thought was so smart, and it looks so good because it almost looked like a cobra mouth biting onto the metal. That actually I think is one of my favorite versions of Cobra Commander. But I love the hood. The battle armor, the version 3, I didn't care a lot about in the cartoon. I do like it. I used it as what he wears when he goes into battle in the book. But like you said, it is definitely the silver plated mask is definitely more the iconic look, even though it wasn't used as much in the cartoon, especially towards the later years, as it was in in the comic books and everywhere else. I prefer the mask, I guess.
Oh, you do? Okay. I like the I'm all hood. He's creepy. I think the other thing is, for me, comic book Cobra Commander, I want to see his eyes. I want to know he's a human. To me, he's always going to be a used car salesman that created a terrorist organization. I'm not feeling this, although I do love the new Cobra Commander and Energon universe, so it might turn me, because he's much scarier, he's much cooler.
But he's also he was in Cobra Law. I don't want to give away the whole thing with him, but he was in Cobra Law, but he's not a part of Cobra Law.
Yeah,
and I love the fact that they put him in the Battle Brigade version, the version 4, the gold and blue uniform in Cobra Law.
That was so cool. That was really cool.
I was like, that's a nice little nod.
Yeah, because that was also used for a useless costume. That was like,
oh yeah, that was a useless. That was a horrible costume. It was so useless.
Good. Yeah.
One other notable Cobra Commander is that one. I think it's the 25th anniversary. He's in the black suit with the black hood. That is a phenomenal.
He did a lot of hoods, a lot of versions of him in the hood, and he looked great in all of them. I think.
Agreed.
Yeah, the Comic-Con exclusive one of him, it had him with the podium and the Cobra flag, and he was in a business suit with the black hood. It's so gorgeous.
I have that. I love that thing. He's got a podium. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. To me, that's him. I even got a 3D printed podium somewhere.
Nice.
Yeah, very cool. But all right. Let's get into this last 2 figures until we get into the vehicles, and then the vehicle drivers, of course. And my God, possibly one of the greatest action figures of all time, in my opinion. This blew me away and made me obsessed with ninjas. I really wanted to be a ninja, and I wanted to be a ninja. That was like one of my life's ambitions. I've never achieved I'm not a ninja, believe it or not. And but man, and this was the thing. But then it was all 80s was all ninjas all the time, right?
I was gonna say in the early, the early '80s, everybody wanted to be a ninja. Everybody had to have a throwing star. Everybody had to, take. You couldn't get nunchucks, you made them. You taped a string to two pieces of wood.
Game changer, yeah.
Oh yeah,
those little smoke caps. Be like, pow, pow, I'm out of here. I'm escaping.
Well, we had
I know this figure was everybody had to have him.
Oh God, he's so good.
Yes,
and he was so different than any of the other Cobras because he was a white a white clad figure.
Yes.
And
look at this. I mean, just the weapons loadout, it all fit in his backpack. So what if they would just start doing that with Classified? I'd be so happy.
I know. Well, they did I think isn't his regular Classified like that, because I think they used the same thing for. Oh, okay, right.
Lacks the nunchucks. To me,
I don't know why.
That's a disappointing figure, in my opinion, because it's not a bad figure. It's just like you have the greatest, maybe one of the greatest characters, greatest figures of all time, and then that's your Classified version. It's sad. It's just not. It just doesn't hold up.
It's almost a mail-in, like they mailed it in on that one. And I don't know. And like you said, why are you going to take one of the icons? And because to me, I think what really, somebody said it earlier about how this somehow is like a direct effect with Snake Eyes, in a sense that he was like the even visually the polar opposite of Snake Eyes, where Snake Eyes is all black, he is all white, good versus evil. It was a very, there's so many different things like that added to this. They were all the sum or the parts of the sum, which is Storm Shadow, and yet he's an icon. I was thrilled to see that he was high up on your best toys of the 80s when you did that, Mark, which was fantastic as always. But I think he somehow I don't know, when I think of it, he kind of underrated a little bit, because he's popular, but not as popular as maybe he should have been. I do think a lot of people got turned off when they saw Spirit serve it to him. I think people were like, well, wait a minute, that dude just almost beat you up. And
no, in the court, that's the other thing. Quick Kick kicks his ass.
Quick Kick his ass. I know, of all people, and I couldn't stand Quick Kick, so that was really.
But in the comic book, Quick Kick, no one gets it off. Like Storm Shadow kicks the shit out of everybody, pretty much, except Snake Eyes. And there's a moment in which Quick Kick goes up against Snake Eyes in the comic, and he's taken down in 2 minutes. Storm Shadow and Ninja magazines, that was the 80s, man.
Yeah,
we had a store next to us called Ninja World.
That's fucking awesome.
5 minutes from where I live right now, and it was, you could go and you would buy shuriken, and you throw them in and never could get one to stick in anything. They were hard.
My bedroom wall was just completely torn up because of one of them. Because it was so much fun. Because the drywall, you could just throw it; it would always stick.
Yeah. Right.
No, but he and Snake Eyes were literally the literal embodiment of yin and yang. And to make the good guy in black and the bad guy in white was really cool, because good guys always wore white. That was John Wayne. That's the way it was. But to have them switched up, and to have the dynamic between the two of them, where they were brothers and they loved each other, but they hated each other. It was just such a great dichotomy for them.
Yeah. So great. Yeah.
It's funny that you say how their roles, the colors are reversed, where the good guys are usually white and the bad guys are usually a black color. Their lasers in the cartoon, I always looked at it that way. The Joe's lasers were red and the Cobra's lasers were blue, and I always thought it would be the other way around. Red seemed like the more evil color.
Yep.
Orbit Askew mentions, I think we're neighbors, or you did live near me, right? You're from Rhode Island, Orbit Askew. There's a store called Ninja World. Yes, that is literally 10 minutes from my house. It doesn't exist anymore, but where it exists 10 minutes from my house. Oh, yeah.
The funny thing about
a tank. He broke out on a tank with karate chops.
Yeah, he did.
Nice.
Yeah, the funny thing about the story, the Snake Eyes movie, was that they kind of flipped the roles of Tommy and Snake Eyes. Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. That the way Storm Shadow was in that movie was more like how Snake Eyes should have been, and they were kind of reversed. And which really that was the first thing that threw me out of that movie.
Oh God, yeah, terrible.
There were so many things wrong with that movie.
One thing I did like about that movie was there's the scene where the Baroness is talking to Snake Eyes, and she's just kind of like, she's got a real psycho air to her in that little bit of dialogue that always caught me. I was like, ooh, she's doing that right. I think I envisioned it. I don't want to say I envision a Baroness being better looking because she's a beautiful woman and everything, but like I just thought it was maybe like, I don't know, if she looked a little bit different, but that lady had it, man. I was like, yo, that chick is crazy.
Yeah, she was scary. I think she's a beautiful woman. They gave her a dumb haircut, and that kind of shows how beautiful she is. They also like she's, I feel she's from Spain. I'm not sure where she's from. Which is cool. I think she's got to be. I always imagine Baroness is Eastern European. She should be from like somewhere in one of those countries. I don't, but it's close enough. I'm good with it. I love the casting in that movie, except for Snake Eyes, and not because he's Asian. I don't like the actor that much. I don't think he's. I think like,
it wasn't written well. He wasn't.
But I don't think he was the right actor ever. Not because he's Asian, only because I don't think he was the right. You could have found an Asian actor who would have worked.
Yeah,
right.
And like, for instance, the guy that played Storm Shadow was great.
Totally.
If he had played Snake Eyes, I would not have complained. I know other people would complain. I wouldn't have complained because there's a point where you got to get over it. It's like, it's like, okay, they race swapped it. I get it. You don't want that. They did it. What are you going to do? If the actor's good and the movie's compelling, I'm going to be into it. And he just isn't compelling. He's a pretty boy who makes romantic comedies. He's not a bad actor, but he's just not good at it. Doesn't have the physicality to be Snake Eyes.
Right.
Yep.
Just doesn't. He can't. Doesn't work.
Yep.
So yes, the movie was total ass. I think it's not total ass. There's some good things in it. It doesn't understand.
Hey, the figures look cool.
Yeah. Some of them, not too bad. All right, any other last words on Storm Shadow? One of the best figures of all time, I think.
He's still like top 5 to me, like of any IP.
Yeah, to me. Oh, here's a question for you: did you know about ninjas before him, or was he your introduction to ninjas? Because I feel like for me, he was my introduction, but I don't know if that's true for everybody.
No, because I had seen Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee was kind of. I mean, even though he wasn't a ninja.
Okay, yeah.
But
I knew about kung fu, but I didn't know about ninjas.
That's an interesting question. I'm trying to think. Where is it? Is it from G.I. Joe? That's because listen, I was a ninja every year for Halloween for like almost a decade. Almost a decade, and like one way or the other, right? I was mostly like I would have like 2 swords and an Uzi, and I was basically Snake Eyes. But anybody that didn't know who Snake Eyes was, I'd be like, I'm a ninja, and they would just be like, oh, okay, that's awesome, ninja with a gun.
Ninja costumes were also the better Halloween costumes. But back then, we had those plastic things with those little plastic masks. So ninja costumes, you got the full body.
Yeah,
right.
Well,
just put on
Orbit
black clothes.
Says you got climbing claws at Ninja World. Did you ever climb anything with those? No, there's no way you climbed anything with those fucking climbing claws, dude.
No, they were all trash.
There's no fucking way. Anybody? Oh, now you get a vintage variant. Everyone is yellow. That's true. Yes, the plastic is yellow. There's nothing you can do about it. If you have a Storm Shadow from the era, it is yellow.
It was something about all those figures back then, because Stormtroopers turned yellow. The droids turned yellow. As everything like that era turned yellow.
Yes, that's right. Yes, it's something about that. Whatever that is, they made my Sky Strikers yellow. I think I still have all my stuff from as a kid. All right. Let's look at this guy. Well, this is possibly the only thing better than Storm Shadow. Can't believe this year you had Storm Shadow, Firefly, Zartan, Scrap Iron, Spirit, Roadblock.
I mean, but as far as Cobra goes, if the Cobra guys go, besides Destro, that's basically, and Major Blood, that's my Cobra Command. Those are the highest guys in Cobra, right? You have Destro for sure, and below Cobra Commander, and But everybody else, the Baroness and all these other guys they're right freaking there. Major blood.
But you also had Copperhead and Wild Weasel too.
Yes,
So
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, there was so many figures that year. And Zartan, the color change put it over the top, probably.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh, dude,
because that was something you just did not see in any toy line at that time.
And the swamp skier, forget it. That came folded to the box. He changed into the guy, the old man.
Yeah,
that have the mask in the backpack.
Dude, forget about it. There was nothing like that. And to boot, Zartan scared the shit out of me in the cartoons. He had that. He had that like that. What I saw with that makeup or whatever he had around his eyes. You know how clowns paint like the diamond.
Oh, yeah.
So that reminded me of that. And then he had that effect on his voice. And I don't care what anybody says. That shit on his head, that's not a hood. That's his hair. Motherfucker got hair. That's hair. I don't care what anybody says. That shit is hair.
That debate's been going on for so long.
Dude, somebody told me that this last year. Like August of last year, somebody was like, "What are you talking about? That's not hair." And I was like, I literally sent a screenshot and I said, "Are you telling me that the thing on Zartan's head here is a hood? A hood from what? He's wearing a chest plate."
But what's so great? Sorry,
the file card was just off the charts too.
Yes, you're the person agreeing. Oh yes, absolutely. Just the schizophrenia thing. I have the schizophrenic file card, so I'm thrilled.
Right.
Yeah. And then when you make him that he's a biker and you add all this other stuff that came out with him as he started developing, it became, to me, he was, besides Cobra Commander and Destro, he was the third in command.
He's the third.
Right.
He's also, what I love about him, and this is the same thing with Storm Shadow and Destro, is they're heroes. They're also heroic, like at times.
Right.
They have like an arc here and there, and they're like anti-heroes. Like you can't really trust them, but they're mercenaries. They're not evil. They do evil things, but they do occasionally dip into being kind of heroic. Like you go on the Zanya arc with Zartan, and he like steps up as a father, and he feels like a hero, and you're like, I don't know if you read that arc, you kind of see him through Zanya's eyes, and you're like, oh, like that would be awesome. That was your dad.
See, that's why I love Zanya. I love that character. Her story is so good. That's why when everybody was when they first announced her and everybody was like, well, who's this? Why would I care about her? Why would I buy her? I'm like, no, this character is a fascinating character.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I've written a pilot for a Dreadnok's TV series.
Yes, right. Yeah.
It's kind of like Sons of Anarchy and with the Dreadnoks.
I would love that.
And in the second episode, Zanya makes an appearance, and it's the arc I have for her is really good.
Nice.
Because the way she's written is she finds out that Zartan's her father, but goes about making sure he knows that she's his daughter, by earning his trust and earning her way in.
Yes.
And I thought that was fascinating. And even when he finds out, he treats her like a regular Dreadnok.
Yeah.
And basically gives her the option of, you can stay or go, but I'll kill you if you go. And it's like, okay, wow.
Yeah. And there's this great thing where she's got this boyfriend who's like abusing her and like making her fight men. And she just like fucking kills him. She sacrifices him. And like her dad looks at her and he's like, yes, good job. You learned. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good lesson.
She sets her mom on fire for not.
I would tell my daughter the same thing.
Yep.
That guy's fucking with you. You kill his ass.
Yep. She sets her mom on fire because she didn't tell her about her father and all this stuff. I mean, just there's so much with that character. I love characters that are morally ambiguous, that are cross, like Winter Soldier to me is like the best character in the Marvel universe.
Oh,
because he's kind of like Zartan, where he does good things, like you're saying, he does good things or has a tendency to do good things, but you push him to the limit, he'll kill you before he'd rather talk to you.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why I could always see Zartan. If G.I. Joe paid him enough, he would, work for them for a little bit, but still, go back to Cobra when he needed to, like that double agent or triple agent.
Right.
So that's why I don't know if I could put him number 3 on my Cobra Command because he's almost not even in Cobra to a degree.
Not
you
even
know,
Cobra. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
he's
think I'd
important for
have to
himself,
go.
the highest bidder.
Yeah.
I'd have to
But
put
Destro's not
major.
either.
Right, that's true. All right, that's a fair point. I mean, I would put like the Baroness or Major Blood ahead of him too. So like
Well,
Destro.
Destro is fair of trying to take over Cobra, and Zartan is just a working for him. He's just working.
Right,
Well, as
right.
long
right,
as Extensive Enterprises pays him to work for Cobra, he's going to work for Cobra.
Exactly.
Right.
To me, Major Blood was always he was in charge of the troops. He was the battalion leader.
And he's the most sycophantic of them all.
Oh, yeah.
He's the only one who's like, he just bows down. And like Zartan has, do you know about this? There's an incredible detail on the Zartan figure where he's got two things with him. He's got a monkey's paw and he's got a head of a snake. And so I read this, I think I heard this on the Full Force podcast. The head of the snake is because the idea was so good. Lenny put this in.
Oh yeah.
The idea is he has this to remind himself that he is owned by no one. So that's like the idea is like that little like snake that you got when you ever got a Zartan figure is a reminder to him to say, I'll cut your fucking head off, Cobra Commander.
Nice.
Anytime I need to. Isn't that so cool?
I love that idea.
It's
Yeah.
so cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Then of course the bomb skier is so cool. I just like he had the armor. You could pull it off. That like there's just like little tactile things.
Yeah.
Swamp skier is, of course it was goofy because once he puts his he's supposed to look like this homeless guy, but he really looks like Zartan.
But when you add where the Dreadnok's hideout is in the middle of the Everglades, it works.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you can get into those. The further you get into the Everglades, the denser it gets. So you need something that's very agile and very fast, especially if he's trying to get away from whoever's chasing him. So it makes sense if you think about where it would be used.
Yes. Oh well, this is gonna be a lot. Holy shit. Okay, we got a lot to get through. The chameleon. So the chameleon here. Yeah, I'm just gonna pull this up while we're talking about it. Chameleon, that's my one problem with this new classified chameleon is if you can't break it up and put it into a box and make it look like trash, I don't know how excited I am about it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
If it doesn't color change to me, then it loses some of its flair.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yep.
No, G.I. Joe guy says not a fan of Hama's take on Zartan. He had too much of a good streak. I know what you mean, and I'm gonna kind of half agree with you. I love the fact that he gave him an arc, but there's a point in which Hama. And I think this is just not a problem with Hama, but it's a problem with comic books. Comic books always go on too long.
Yes.
When you're telling the same story for 1,000 years, you got to do too many things. And then inevitably, it's like, because there was a point where Zartan had like a little bit of an arc. He killed the blind master, and then he felt bad about it, and he had a little bit of an arc. But then he, like, Storm Shadow forgives him, and that doesn't work. Storm Shadow would never forgive him. There's no world in which Storm Shadow stops trying to kill Zartan.
Right.
That does not storyline make sense. And there's also no world in which Destro doesn't kill Cobra Commander the second he gets the chance. But in Hama, because the story goes on too long, he has to do these things. So I don't even think it's his fault. I just think it's the inevitability of comic books. It's like when Spider-Man does stupid shit like making his parents super secret agents. It's like when you go on for 75 years, it's like it's gonna get dumb. And I agree, it did get dumb, and he did get too much of a good streak. So yeah.
But even when you're writing, you have to give characters different arcs, or they just stay flat and they get boring. Look at it as like with Sons of Anarchy. Those characters are awful characters. They're bad men, but they do good things from time to time.
Yes.
Yes. Zartan's going to be the same way. He's a bad man. He's out for himself, but he's going to have moments of he accidentally does the right thing, maybe, or somebody paid him to do the right thing. It doesn't necessarily make him a good guy, but it does give him a more of an interesting arc.
Well, the reality is we're all out for ourselves to some extent.
Hey, look at Storm Shadow. How many times has he gone bad, then gone good, then bad?
Right. Yeah. It's like your moral. It's like, where is your morality at? And it's like, my morality is pretty safe because I don't have to play in a world in which it's not. And he does. And he grew up in a world where it's, it's life or death. And so his morality is a little more stretched than ours, but
his moral compass has a dollar sign on it. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the Chameleon, very cool little tiny vehicle. And he, to me, is probably the best of the. So if you look at, like, we got all those figures every year and they were good, he is the best of them, I think.
He's kind of the Snake Eyes of Cobra, when it comes to figures and things like that.
Yeah.
You know there's going to be a ton of them, but they're always an interesting figure.
They're all going to be good.
Yeah.
There it is right there. Yeah. The box.
He's a hero to me. So he is one of those characters that, to me, is I don't know, I love him. Love him like in a hero, like he's a hero. All right, let's go through the vehicles now. I guess we'll start with these because these will be a quick talk. And let's talk about all these together as one sort of conversation. So we've got the machine gun defense unit. We've got the missile, because I don't think they're that exciting to talk about, but I love these things. The missile defense unit and the mortar defense unit. Now, these were dinky little things that you got as a fan. But man, did they add so much to the play. They were just, I don't know, I'll let you two talk about it. I'm sorry, I talk a lot.
It was one of those things where if you can add to your battlefield, it made it more realistic. You could only use so many dirt mounds and rocks to hide behind. You when you got to put these things, it made it feel more like an actual battlefield.
Yes, and it was so fucking good.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge sucker for this shit. I had that one right there with those with the I-beam pylons. I had the bivouac, and then that one right there with I had the brick wall. Actually, I traded just for the brick wall. And then I think, what was the other one? I had one more, I think, and that was my Joe base. And my whole thing was, I had the bridge layer going. I had the Joes out front clearing the way. Then the bridge layer would bring the APC over the bridge, and in the back of the APC was all of this shit. And then I would set up a remote Joe base, and then go from there. They would go looking for, which on the Cobra side, I had the surveillance port, which always had, I tried to put water. I tried to put it near water. That way I'd have Firefly in the night landing, and then Scrap Iron on the other side setting up his missile thing. And then they were always looking for each other to fight. That was like all the fucking time. So I absolutely
I used to, MASH was still going on at around this time. And I used to, have the bivouac and all these little pieces that I would set up and almost make like the MASH campsite that, that they have. And that's how I had my Joes, because I couldn't afford the G.I. Joe base that came out. So this was my base. It was, they were in the middle of a battle and they didn't have a big fortress. They had, tents and supplies to hide behind, and, the different canisters and whatnot. And it made it to me as a kid, it made it feel like I was, really having a battle there.
Yeah, I mean, to me, there's like one great, amazing piece in each one of these sets. For me, in this one, it's the gas can. Yeah. You're shooting at, it's blowing up. And actually, this one has two pieces. The sandbags. Like the fact that they were sandbags that you could, I think that was a disappointment in the set they came out with for the
Fort Mod
Sniper thing.
The Fort Mod.
Yeah, have it come with sandbags, not a sandbag. Not because you could build them up and you could knock them down, but you were blowing that shit up every time. And then in the other one, that wall was so essential to having a shootout.
Yes.
You needed that wall, man. You needed to be snipering through that wall, right? You needed low light to be shooting through that wall. And then the other pieces, who gives a crap? Those were not that useful. And then those I don't even know what you call them.
They're I-beams that are bolted together. Yeah, those things. Like, there is a name for it. I can't think of what the hell it is, but those are incredible. That was probably, those could have been, for whatever reason, they were like my favorite. The brick wall or that thing was like my favorite for sure. It was because you could like put it up, set it up for a trap of a vehicle. I also like having it like a checkpoint, like they would have it in the road and then move it out of the way, so like a vehicle could get through. It just, that shit offers a lot of like crazy realism. And, there's guys like, Mo's Mind makes, things like this, like the Outpost and all kinds of stuff, that you can have fun with. I mean, he's got a bunch of awesome modular shit that goes together. But if and then you can get the little pieces like from Sis 3D Arsenal, you can get there, you can get close to it, right? But I would be cool. I like the Cobra bunker because it reminds me of the Fort mod because it reminds me of the Cobra like blue bunker or the surveillance port kind of. The Joe one, I don't know. The colors are weird. I'm not sure if I like it. I wish they had something green, that looked like this. This was like army green shit. Loved them all.
When these came out, I think it was the first time I ever started putting my figures up on like a shelf, like as a display when I wasn't playing with them.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Using my blankets as mounts, these places. Yeah, you just need it. These are necessary, and I agree. They need them in classified. They're
well, hopefully we'll get it. We'll start to get them because we get the bivouac with the with the snowcat.
Oh yeah, right. So this was a year. So this is when they started doing these little world building pieces. Okay, the mountain howitzer is the most boring thing ever. So does anybody want to talk about it? Because I have zero.
I got it in the Sears set that came with the. What was it came with? It was the vamp. That's when I got it.
I thought it was the HAL. The vamp came with the HAL.
That's right. You're right. It was the HAL.
Rules. The mountain howitzer sucks.
Oh, which actually did.
The only thing about the mountain howitzer was kind of cool is it's a real thing. It's a legit actual howitzer. But that is all I have to say about that shit. Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the bivouac. Because the bivouac, man, well, we're all excited about the bivouac coming with our snowcats, which, this is fucking this thing's awesome. This is like a little play. This is a little playhouse with GI Joe, which is like what my daughter loves to do with GI Joe is like play house. She's gonna love the bivouac.
It was the first one that I got. I think my grandfather, I got it as a present for sure because I had never even seen it before. So when I opened it and saw the box at first, I like obviously I wasn't swearing, but the equivalent of whatever child outburst was like, "What the fuck? What is this?" And you tear the box open and you set it up and you're like, "Holy shit." Because, kids don't understand how crazy it was to have no idea something existed until you opened it as a gift. Right? Because everything.
Now you got 45 videos about it, reviewing before you even get it.
Unboxing video. They know what every little piece looks like. And not like that. Yeah, I remember opening that and it was like in the package and I had no idea it existed. And then I think there was a folded piece of paper in there that showed like a bunch of the other sets. And then that's how I found out about the rest. And, you go looking for those. Like, give me that shit.
It had a little bed and you could destroy it. To me, all these things were about destroying them. It's like you knock those.
Yeah, I always used it with Doc. Doc, he was always, taking care of somebody in there.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. It's pretty great. I mean, and then you got that nice little, let's see if I can see a better version of it. You got a shovel, an axe, and a machete. So those were essential. That machete was that immediately made it into Rakondo's hand. And then the other thing, those were fun, man. Those were fun. It's great stuff.
And the cool thing is you could get multiple of them and and set it up and have a bigger base or a bigger loadout with it.
Yeah. Oh, and this thing. Okay, now the best of them to me, in my opinion, is this. The Watchtower. This thing was so much fun to destroy, right?
Oh yeah.
You could just tear that thing apart. It came apart really easily. and or knocked it over. Sorry, no, I'm thinking about the checkpoint. You knocked this thing over very easily, which is super fun. So that to me, I was ramming a stinger into this thing every time.
Firecrackers underneath it was pretty cool too.
I could never do that to my GI Joes, man.
Wow, yeah, firecrackers. That's a crazy idea. I love it. I didn't have this one. I think this was like the only one I didn't have out of them sets.
Oh,
But I was jealous. I loved it.
good.
It looks incredible with a little bit of a ladder and whatnot.
That's the other thing I miss is the blueprints.
Oh yeah, yes. Why don't they do that? They should do that. They're cheap.
So, Rich, I don't have one on now. I usually do. My buddy Stevie Z makes a bunch of shirts that all have the different blueprints on them. It's my absolute favorite thing. They're just
nice. That was such a great idea to put with them.
Yes. All right, let's get into the vehicles. We're gonna start with the boring ones to get them over with. Okay, so these are the most boring ones. Well, you get the Vamp and the Howl. I mean, we talked about these last time. Or in the 82 video. Anybody want to say anything about this? Is this how you got these, Rich?
That's how I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I got that too. My grandfather absolutely loved Sears, so I benefited. He bought me like all those Sears exclusives. What was the other one? The Hiss 2, the Crimson Hiss with the missile. Yeah. I had that too, which is totally awesome.
I had it already, so this would have been irrelevant to me. To me, this is just an 82 item that we're packing and talking about in 84. But okay. Vamp Mark II. What are your thoughts on the Vamp Mark II?
I thought it was boring as shit.
I preferred the Stinger over it.
Definitely. Actually, it's funny you say that. I liked it more as a Cobra vehicle. I just didn't like the color. Like, I know Dusty existed, and it was like, but for some reason, I don't know. I thought now, which is weird because getting the Vamp and the Howl with that, there was no clutch. So I didn't even have a green clutch. But when I saw that, I was like, I don't want a tan clutch. I want the green clutch. I just didn't really have an interest. I don't know how. I don't know why. It just looked boring.
For me, you go in a battle with a missile launcher, you shoot your 4 missiles, then you go home. So it never works.
Right.
I always feel like a vehicle that only has missiles is disappointing. Because you're screwed. Once you shoot those missiles, you're done, man. What are you gonna do?
Even though I loved Dusty, That figure was always one of my favorites. The tan vehicles never worked with. But also remember, this was before the United States had ever been in a desert war. So we didn't have tan vehicles or tan camouflage,
everything's
tan.
Things. We spent 25 years in Iraq and Afghanistan. Everything's tan.
Yeah. So every war that we'd ever fought was in a jungle or in you use green camouflage or green fatigues. And that's as a kid, that's how I identified the military.
Yeah.
Even though G.I. Joe had already started getting past just standard military, but for some reason it just didn't resonate with me.
Yeah. That one's not that good. All right, we'll move on because there's a lot of amazing here, and that actually almost all of it is amazing, I think. Well, okay, we'll get into the I'm going to go in ascending order of awesome. So the ASP, which I do like the ASP. It's a weird little thing. What are your thoughts on this thing?
I never cared for it.
Yeah.
That's one of the only Cobra vehicles I never really cared for at all. I don't know. It just looked weird. It looked like a coffin to me in a way.
It kind of is a coffin because the moment you rotate that thing up, you're dead. There's zero reason to rotate it upwards. The only thing you can do is make yourself more of a target so Bazooka can blow you up, right? You know what I mean? Like, what is the point of that?
I personally absolutely loved it, and it's one of my most wanted things for Classified.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of awesome, and I think one thing that's great is having. We have the ass was math by Carlos. What's kind of great about it is you got a towable weapon, which is always so fun to have these towable weapons.
And
although it did make an appearance in the Energon verse, so it's
nice. Okay,
it's not. Totally.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's not. I guess now, I mean, as an adult, it grows on me a little bit more, but I never really cared about it.
Yeah. Your thoughts, Destro?
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. I don't know why. It's totally impractical, but
Yes.
I did like how it would like lift up a little bit and then it kind of swiveled around. It was like a defense thing, right? You weren't attacking with it. You were just I would love it for the hiss, for the reason of, the hiss stops, it drops this thing. Then when they're getting their shit together, they have something that's set up that if all of a sudden we get overrun, somebody comes flying in, we're going to be able to like thwart a bombing on top of us while we're getting it together. I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was cool as shit.
Now you're gonna make it for the hiss, make it black.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it works.
Yeah.
It needs to be black, and I know that would ruin it for a lot of classified people because it's got to be the thing you had when you were a kid. But it only makes sense. You can't have it towing a blue ass thing.
Right. Now, if they give us a special blue hiss with this,
I don't want a blue friggin' hiss.
But, right. No, I'm just saying.
No, I love this thing. I do love it. I will agree with you. I did love it. All right, so let's get to the thing from the year.
It may have also been for me that there was a lot of other great vehicles that came out that year.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, this year's insane. I mean, like, this is okay. So the Manta. Did you guys have this thing?
Yeah.
I liked it, but it like fell apart a lot, and you just didn't get played with. Sometimes just on the basis of I just didn't feel like fucking with it.
It was a bathtub toy for a lot of me. For that,
Sure.
I had a creek. I had a creek that ran behind my house, so it was in there quite a bit too.
It didn't float.
Oh yeah,
float. You couldn't. No, can't.
It didn't float, but I sure tried to make it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of awesome. It's funny when he puts it on as a backpack. It's absolutely ridiculous. It does not hold up as a backpack. Let's see if I can find a backpack image here. Yeah, that's not going on your back, man.
I love that they tried though.
It's kind of awesome. It's got that like gun. Looks like it has like a remote control wire on it. That's what I always thought it was. Like, right? Doesn't it look like it's got that? I don't know what it's. It's got a missile. It's pretty awesome, honestly. It's pretty cool. And it was in
although if you fired the missile while on that, you're gonna flip it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Actually,
I haven't done any like yeah. That's a good point. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Kind of love it. All right. Wow. Now we're getting okay. Everything else on this is incredible. I feel like absolutely everything is incredible. So, wow, we're going long here, but this is good. It's a good conversation. So whatever. But okay, Cobras. Maybe I need to separate figures and vehicles next time. I'm not sure. But this is good. Well, tonight we'll get through it. The Cobra Stinger. This is probably my next favorite thing on the list. What are your thoughts?
I loved it. Besides the hiss tank, that was one of my favorite Cobra vehicles.
Yeah.
I should say land vehicles.
To me, it was a companion to the hiss, right? Yeah. This was like a scout that was way up ahead, driving around, making sure now the hiss is fast, but something like that can maneuver a little bit. Also can run through and soften up a target. Say the hiss wants to go blasting through a gate. You send that thing first, it launches all of its missiles. Then it gets the fuck out of the way because it's now empty. But then here comes the hiss behind it rolling through. And yeah. I loved it. I loved it as well. Also the I think the driver just looks. The colors are just awesome. Like my boy Cletus the Cobra. My boy Cletus the Cobra thinks that the Stinger driver is it's his favorite all-time figure. He just loves the way it looks, and I'm like, yeah. It does it. I mean, I know it's just a repaint, but I don't know, something about the color. It goes with it. The classified. I have a bunch of them. So like the classified, forget it. It's ridiculous. So yeah, really cool stuff.
This man, by the way. Rich, Destro has a horrific addiction to G.I. Joe classified. How many Stingers have you bought?
Actually, I only have 3 now. I had 4, but I had 5. I sold one and traded one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
I wanted more, but there was other figures that I wanted more.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping recently they were popping up at Walmart for $37.50, and I was probably gonna get. I would like to make one a Python Patrol, just slap a little yellow and a little bit of that
37.
maroon or something. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to do that, but the Walmart's out here. I was told that because GI Joe is not for young kids, that they've decided not to carry them in a lot of the stores. So,
Huh.
yeah,
We don't get them. We don't get much GI Joe at all in where I am ever. Yeah, I see nothing in stores except in Targets. My favorite detail of the Stinger is that bumper with the blades on it.
Yes.
yeah.
Run through a GI Joe with that shit. That's fun.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. Good call. Very good call.
Oh wow! So the next on the list, I'm trying to go in what order of what I find interesting, and all of it. It's all pretty much a tie here at this point, so it's all pretty incredible. All right, let's go to the Cobra Claw.
Yeah.
Man, I love this thing so much. This thing was like one of my favorite things as a kid ever.
I love that thing because before that we just had the gliders, which were fun to throw around, but this thing just felt like like something that Cobra should have, and not just a glider.
Yeah,
Right.
The gliders never lasted more than 20 minutes, so
Yeah.
it's like this thing was so cool. I mean, missiles. I don't know how it lands. I don't know how you're like, but it was also great to in the comic book. This was how Storm Shadow used this to rescue Cobra Commander. That was a cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
I don't
classified
know.
version's great though.
It's
I
awesome.
love that they added the landing gear, so that way at least
Yes.
it makes a little bit more sense.
The only complaint I have about the classified one, which the pilot I think is an elite figure. I love it. I love it. I love it all. But it doesn't come with the bomb that it used to come with. You could stick it as like a drone, and I
Yeah.
wish they had that. I feel like they're totally missing the ball, dropped the ball, where they could have just slipped in, one of them like this one right here, right? It looked just like that, but it was all white, had like a little black or a red tip. It was awesome. It was the figure, the backpack. It slid right on the backpack tag, and I love that. That was so to me the claw, the trouble bubble, and the snake armor are like iconic, essential Cobra shit. I think it's because they all look white, like that. Those things I just said, and the hiss. Maybe there's obviously the Rattler probably too, but those are like the ones for me in the Cobra vehicles. But no, the claw, I loved it. I had one as a kid, and I thought it was the coolest shit.
Yeah, because it was a gliders of shame. Yes, that's what the claws were drones. They were drones. Yes, they could drone or drop the bomb.
Drop the bomb.
I didn't catch that. They didn't come with the drone. How they didn't come with a bomb? That's like upsetting.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I would have rather the pilot come with no weapons. Right? Like they were cool. They came with some.
What are you gonna carry? I wouldn't carry shit.
It would have been something simple to put in there, and you already have bombs, for other things that you could have just dropped one into it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. 100%.
But
I mean, you have it. It's right here. It's literally right here. This is the exact. That's like the exact size and shape. If you put that under the claw, it would fit perfectly. 100%. Right off the Rattler. Boom.
How many of those do you buy, Destro?
What's that? Oh, claws?
Yeah.
I bought 4. I bought 6, gave one away, traded one, and then I just won one on a Facebook group. So I have 5.
Nice. Do you army build this stuff, Rich? You said with figures.
Mostly figures. Yeah, I've army built. I wanted to get more claws because I thought I built up a Valkyrie army.
Oh, I want to do that. Yeah.
And I've taken different ones, and actually, I made in the novel I have a character called Misconduct, and I took one of the Valkyries and made her. So she's the squad leader.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
love it.
She's also the right hand. She's basically Cobra's hand. So she answers only to Cobra Commander, and she's in charge of the Valkyries.
Awesome.
So yeah, she. So I dyed all of her. I dyed the yellow ones red, just for her. But I thought having a Valkyrie army, especially with the name and just the mystique of actually the Valkyries themselves are it's cool to add to Cobra. Add something else. Whoa! I just kicked the camera.
I love the Valkyrie idea. I love it.
I agree, and I actually almost I almost wish, in a small kind of way, that they came with the claws. Like, doesn't they have the Valkyries that come with the flying? Like it almost seems more like it makes more sense. So like,
Yeah, totally.
I did buy a bunch of sets for that reason, where I was like, oh, I think I might want the Valkyries in the claws. And I like the way that the claw pilots look in the snake armors. Plus, they fit like perfectly in the snake
Oh
armors.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I got 5 of those, and now I have 5 claw pilots. So it kind of works.
Misconduct's a great name, by the way.
Thank
Yes, yeah, that whole thing is awesome.
So she was a major, but Interpol had a warrant out for her when she joined the military to try to escape her Interpol arrest. She went in. She was a major, so her actual name is Major Misconduct.
Oh, nice.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this thing, the Skyhawk.
Love this thing.
So good.
Definitely. Iconic Joe vehicle.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Right?
You
That
see
is
it in the
just-
cartoon. Yeah, see it in the cartoon all the time. Everybody's like jumping in and out of it. It's awesome. Just super cool design too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good. Yeah.
I hope they classify one up, make it $100. Don't give us a figure, right? I don't want a steel course entry in there. Or some dumb shit.
Yeah.
Don't
The
give me
great
some.
thing about this is it's a small vehicle. You could totally make it for classified.
There's a lot of good 3D prints out there from
Yeah.
different companies.
I got
But yeah, an official one would be great.
There's also though, what is it? Is that a 3D print?
this 3D print. A guy, it's not the guy. Actually, I bought one of my Stingers coincidentally off of, and a bunch of the other figures. He just gave it to me. He was like,
nice.
yeah. So this actually does move. There's only one on here. I forgot to glue it, but it does have the rocket. These move. I could put some detail into these right here and maybe give it like a dirty wash. It's actually not that bad. All I have to do is just glue the skids and the rockets on, and the figures are a little tight. I think like if you notice, like it doesn't really go all the way up. There's not a lot of there's a little bit of detail in there, but it's I mean, altogether for when I do a dio shot and it's sitting in the background, it's absolutely perfect for that. And it fits on top of the outpost. So I kind of like the way that it looks on that too. So
I got to tell you let me know in the.
Oh
my God! Whoops!
Oop, there we go.
Disconnected me from my own damn stream. So my problem with buying things that are 3D printed is it ruins my ability to complain about the fact that they haven't made it in classified yet. So I like to wait until they make it classified.
Right.
One thing that makes me laugh about this thing is there are foot pegs on the landing gear, right? You're not.
Oh yeah.
You can't ride alongside. They did this on all G.I. Joe shit, but it's like you can't hang on to the side of a dragonfly either. You're falling to your death, man. You're not making it.
That's fucking funny.
But this is a great fast. I like the small vehicles better. They're faster, fun.
I enjoyed the smaller ones too because I could get them. Right, the bigger ones were a little too expensive, and I didn't have too many of the bigger ones. I had a Tomahawk and I fucking dropped it and broke it.
Oh, that's
yeah.
I didn't get the Tomahawk until the 25th anniversary line, but I love that one.
They're gorgeous.
It's amazing, and that would be a great HasLab, although it'd be also huge. But I'm whatever. I don't care. To me, nothing's bigger than that. I like the problem of the wingspan on this is like I really have nowhere to put it. And I bought it. I got it. And I was like, what am I gonna fucking do with this thing? I can't put it on a shelf.
Well, that's what my wife said. She was like, she goes, you bought this great thing. You can't display it anywhere. She goes, and I don't want you to just put it in a box somewhere or just sit it, somewhere where you can't see it.
HasLab causing marital arguments across the continent like nobody's business.
Oh, well, I guess why don't we? You know what? Let's go into that because whatever it's right. We're talking about it, right? This thing, the fire effect.
Yeah,
Is
so
the
awesome.
greatest thing ever, man. That is like top tier amazing. Let's see.
I agree.
I can't do it. Also, the battle damage on Wild Weasel's face. God damn, was that?
Oh yeah.
But the fire effect, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Did you know that the map on his thigh?
Wait, Melton
actually,
Copper's back, and he's harassing us again. Sorry.
The map on Wild Weasel's thigh had Nantucket to Cincinnati because that's where Kenner was located at the time.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. No, that's funny. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And that was their major competition.
That's a great tidbit. I love that story.
Melton Copper says, this is the sad. No, I'm the only divorced guy. Michael here has been happily married. Rich here has been happily married for 30 years, which makes you get married when you're 12. 20, you were married when you're 20.
53, man.
You got married right away, huh?
Yeah, that was what, 24? Yeah.
Because I got married late. I got married 30s, early 30s, and then it didn't last. What are you gonna do?
All I can say is, from very early on, she knew about my toy obsession, and it's never been a problem.
Good. What's your feeling on the Rattler?
Oh, I love the Rattler.
Yeah.
Because it's based off of the A10. It's not proportionate. So that was what bothered me for the HasLab at first. But because the original, it never bothered me because I was a kid and I was cool looking. Yeah. But Lenny kind of talked me off the ledge on that when we were at Comic-Con that year. He was saying that, well, we based it off of the original design, and besides, it's modified. They've modified the A10 Thunderbolt so it can be whatever size they want it to be.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, well, yeah, that makes sense. So when I added it to the novel, I made sure to put in modified A10 Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm sure the A10 Thunderbolt would be unruly and just too big, right? Just
the wingspan. The wingspan is almost double what that is. Oh, yeah. The Rattler is. And so
says you want the Wild Weasel. Well, let me tell you, they did a thing here with Wild Weasel where they gave you a broken, a battle damage helmet, like the issue of the comic where they have the battle, and that thing is this is one of the greatest things they've ever done. Look at that battle damage helmet, so fun.
It's great.
So fun.
The Baroness, you can turn it into just a female pilot. It doesn't have to be the Baroness.
True.
Which is cool too.
Right.
But the maps suck. The maps on his legs fall off all the time. You got to glue them on.
Yeah, that was the big problem with that. Because the original Wild Weasel was just part of his. It was built in, or it was attached.
I don't know why they did that. It's terrible. All right. Well, any thoughts on the Rattler? Any other thoughts on the Rattler?
No, iconic. It must have. Got to get the HasLab. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
I was skeptical of the HasLab at first, but I was so glad I got it. When it was amazing to open, and the figures that come with it are just incredible.
I unfortunately didn't buy it ahead of time because at the time money it just was not like the most responsible decision to buy. And then so I didn't buy it. So I ended up paying about $100, not too much more though. I ended up getting it pretty good. I got it like 3 weeks ago.
The funniest thing about that is my wife talked me into buying it at the last minute.
Oh, nice.
Oh shit.
She did the same thing with the Snowcat. She goes, if you don't get it, you're going to regret it and you're going to hate yourself. And it was like the Rattler was like the last day, and I ended up getting it, and I was like, okay. And then she made me wait till Christmas Day to open it because it came in like early November, and I had to wait till Christmas morning to open it. and it was the coolest thing to do is to wait and open it. Then
Yeah.
I felt like a little kid again.
Yeah. Just watch the fat electrician. I assume the fat electrician is what he calls himself, right? Okay. I was like, wow, that's kind of rude, Operative D. Why you just call this guy fat? But no, I get it. Yeah. So yes, I think that is based on the comic where he dog fights with the Airborne, which is one of the greats. All right. Wow, we're going on 3 hours, which that's like Destro Designs length here, right? He's got a minimum 3 hour.
Yeah,
Well,
dude,
this year, 1984, there was so many figures that it takes a while to get through it.
Yeah, I might split them up next time. Does that make sense to people to split them up into figures and vehicles? I didn't really. This is the first year it's become like that. So
right,
because we still have a handful, but we won't go too much longer. I think we got 4 vehicles left. So, but this has been a very great conversation. I'm really enjoying it. And the fact that we're going long, hopefully everybody's enjoying it. But I am. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm loving the conversation. Too. I'm glad to be a part of it.
No, it's great to have you. Yeah, great to have you guys. Really fun. So let's get into our next vehicle. And oh god, there's a couple more. All right, this is absolutely for me one of my favorite things of all time. And this is a thing. Why they do not have this in classified is mind-blowing to me. Why have they not done it yet? Because it's exactly the right size. It's a one-man vehicle. Just put it out. Why not?
Well, it falls into the category. When I was talking to Lenny one time about it at Comic-Con, because I'm there every year. We were talking about the Thunder Machine being a HasLab, and he said it's too small, that there's a certain amount of shelf space they get in retail stores. And he said the Thunder Machine, the Shark, the Vamp, all these, the All Striker, they all fit within that shelf space. So these are things that they're considering for retail, instead of HasLabs.
Yeah.
But the Shark would be a great one.
Yeah.
It's
best show yet. We got a vote for best show yet. Awesome. Nice. All right.
Nice. Oh, wow. There we go. I'll take it. We gotta have it because it was like they used it in so many missions in the cartoon. Yeah. It was super important. I loved it. I had the one that came with Deep Six and the whole bubble thing and all that. I loved it. I thought it was freaking awesome.
One of the things for me about it, it's so good, is it's that perfect level of sci-fi that when G.I. Joe hits, where it's like, oh, this kind of makes sense. No, it's not real. They don't do it yet, but like it would be very cool if you could go from being a submarine to an aircraft in like 1 minute. That would be just a perfect attack vehicle. There's a couple weird details. That I think that's so cool, but yet it still feels believable. It's not like crazy town ridiculous.
It almost looks like G.I. Joe got a hold of a fire bat and repurposed it.
Yeah, it's good. It does look like a little bit the fire bat, but it's got these. It's some pretty great details too. One of the funniest details about it here was something that it never makes a ton of sense here. We're supposed to talk about the figure. Oh, we didn't talk about the figures as well. The pilots here, so we can talk about Deep Six, but you couldn't attach a figure. I don't think it looks like they don't have but you can attach a figure to the bottom of it. So there's like the back; those are backpack pegs.
Oh, right, that's the one. Okay,
so,
I knew
me that was always like I use as a launcher. It was like they could torpedo out at you. Did you use that feature at all, or?
I had torpedo underneath it because I think there was an episode where they showed like torpedo or wetsuit or somebody hanging on the bottom of it, like kind of sneaking in, and the shark veered off and they went a different way. So I started using it like that, and it worked because you could send troops into battle without covertly.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like the idea that it could launch a couple and it could house 2 of them. Most of mine says had the Sky Patrol version. That's a cool version, the silver one. I did not have that. I didn't do repaints. If I had something, I usually was over it. But looking back at it, I think the silver one's even cooler. By the way, Most Mind, the video I put out a video today. I shout outed you and Destro Designs in this video, and plugged your Atlas and your show.
Thanks, brother.
Okay.
It
It only came out a couple hours ago, but
okay, nice,
because it's about things that are made on Etsy.
awesome. Oh,
So,
well, thanks, dude. I
I
appreciate
saw
it.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw some of that one.
And there's some
nice.
insane shit on there. There's some absolutely insane shit on this video. There is very pornographic things.
Yeah.
Multiple pornographic things on this video.
That's crazy. That's so nuts. Oh my god.
Not made by Most Mind. He's not making
No.
pornographic,
Right.
unfortunately. We're disappointed
It's
about
not a show or an episode you want on your big screen TV.
it. Yeah.
Nice.
Especially if you have a window behind it that is open.
Summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, this is one of the best all-time greats. Deep Six. What are your thoughts on Deep Six?
I
Little
liked
blocky.
Deep Six, but he wasn't easy to play with.
Yes, he sucked. He was more like another action figure from a different line that wasn't as good.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. It reminded me of man, there was I can't for the life of me I'm not going to remember it, but at the time I had these other figures that were like 3 3/4, and they looked kind of like Star Wars, but it was some kind of bootleg Star Wars, and the arms only went straight up and down like this. The heads didn't move, and I was like, man, this is like worse than those. But at least he had like the suit was cool looking, right? Like you got away with it a little bit because it was big, and awesome and shit like that. So yeah, that's pretty dope.
To me, what's cool about the suit is you could imagine it has like to me, it was like it could have like a missile launcher in the wrist or something, or like he's got like a little there's like a black thing here. Let's see if we can get a better shot of it. If we can get into him. Let's see. Oh yeah. So yeah, you could see like he's got see it almost like he's got weapons in that thing, and it's like a very cool like diving suit.
Yeah.
And to me, I hope they do something like that with this new figure, that they soup him up, they classify him, they do what they did with Tripwire, because that's one of the best figures they've ever made,
Well, a few years ago when that Buzz Lightyear movie came out, there was a 6-inch figure of Buzz that looked very much like the Deep Six suit. That I know there's some people that customized and made a Deep Six out of it, which it was more flexible. He could move around and move his arms and legs and sit. That I hope they kind of go with something like that, because it was still a big bulky space suit, but it looked like what you would see what something like Deep Six would wear in a classified line.
Yeah. And that could be, he could be actually one of their best figures ever, honestly. I think they did him right. He could really be a great reinvention. So,
or if you're going to do a suit like that, make him come out of it.
Yeah, that would be very cool. Yeah. All right. Cobra water moccasin and copperheads. We should talk about the pilots too. I've been talking about those. Thoughts on this one?
Another iconic vehicle and figure.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a rumor we're getting one, and this rumor was leaked to me that we're getting one. And so far, what has been leaked to me is about 85% true.
Right.
There's only about 3 things on there, and there's actually a bunch of shit that I've gotten confirmed, by the way. So we are absolutely getting Destro, and there's a spoiler, and he is going to have a shield. We are absolutely getting Dusty and Sandstorm. That's confirmed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are confirmed.
Arctic 3-pack. Arctic 3-pack was another one.
Yeah. So there's the majority of what we talked about was confirmed. The only things left are the Fatal Fluffies, which I don't know if that's true. The water moccasin. I think there's maybe a couple other vehicles that were pitched. I can't remember, but I've heard a rumor that the water moccasin was at least going to happen and may or may not be.
I know from speaking to Lenny several times at Comic-Con, that's how I knew we were getting a dinosaur figure at one point.
Oh, yeah, yes, you did know.
Because
Yes.
yeah, I mean, he and I, when I was discussing my book with him 3 or 4 years ago, I mentioned that I had a character that had a dinosaur in it, and he was like, "I would love to do a dinosaur." He goes, "At some point, I'm going to have to do one." And so I was like, "Yeah, you know." 'Cause in fact, I'm not taking credit for it at all. Please do not think that. But we were talking about Comic-Con exclusives because that was the year that Chuckles was an exclusive, Dr. Minderbender was an exclusive, and I said you should do deep cuts like Cold Slither as a exclusive because these are things that not everybody's going to want, but the niche people, the people that like exclusives will want. And he was at that time, he's like, "Oh my god, it'd be so much cool! It'd be so cool to do Cold Slither and do the guitars and everything and the drums,
Yeah.
the drum kit." I said, "Yeah, you do the companion piece of Snake Eyes and Shipwreck, and the animals in costume."
Right.
I said you could throw satin in there, and he's so they
yeah.
do listen to us what we like. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying I'm responsible for Cold Slither. I may have put the bug in his ear and it stuck somehow,
Yeah.
but they do listen. And Dino, and I know he had mentioned at one point that he'd love to do a Fatal Fluffy. And so hopefully we'll get one. I mean, it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. Then we got this guy, Cobra's Florida Man, which Upper D says. For some reason, okay, what's going on? Okay, Cobra, there we go. Yeah, I love this figure, and I love the classified one is amazing. Yeah.
And he's a pseudo Dreadnok, so right there, add more to it.
Right. He's a Dreadnok with a helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the best file cards of all time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that gung ho quote is top notch.
Yeah. The fact that he's doing this all because he's got his gambling debt, he's paying off his gambling debt.
He's a riverboat gambler.
Yeah,
it's fucking nuts. It's something. As much as I absolutely like the way that the moccasin looked, I was absolutely in love with it. Copperhead's helmet, I think, is really, really cool. But I've always had something against like the sleeveless. It makes me nuts. Yeah. And so he's got this thing, and it kind of holds me back from embracing him in the way that he probably deserves to be embraced. But the vehicle is just so fucking cool. What an amazing design. Like that little horseshoe cutout in the front. I don't know why that looks so good, but it was amazing. Plus, like, his cockpit area was like, it was easy to get him in and out enough to get him in and out. It looked like it was sitting right. The extra turret was really, really cool. The turbine that moved, I mean, it's fucking awesome. And he was
a badass in the cartoon.
100%. Also, the leader of Python Patrol. Shout out.
Yep.
He was bigger too, so he had like a little bit of a bigger chest. So you felt like he was a brawler. He was like a large guy. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I think the Python Patrol version of him is amazing.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And so little Easter egg. So in the regular version, he comes with a machete. In the Python Patrol version, he comes with a machete, but it's covered in blood. It's pretty cool.
Really?
So,
I did not get it, oddly enough, and I might have to grab one. Riverboat Gambler version of Copperhead. That's awesome.
Wait, Mark, I have 2 extra sitting. They came loose in lots that I have. Please, I'll send you one.
Please, I would love that.
Yeah,
I'll buy some Night Vipers off you if you want. You can send me the.
We'll figure it out for sure.
Yeah. Come on, water mine, or whatever.
Oh yeah, the sled, the mine sled. Yeah.
Oh come on, how good is that?
Yeah, I did. Totally awesome. Totally freaking awesome. Everything about that is just, it's great. And it was sized just right where it was affordable. That's how I had it, and it wasn't too big or bulky. It was, really sweet.
Now, the rumor is that if it comes out, it's going to, instead of having, of course, another Copperhead, it's going to have a female gunner.
Fucking awesome.
That would be perfect.
Yes. Copperhead costume, woman.
Yeah.
How awesome would that be?
That would be incredible. Yeah.
So
if that winds up being true, it would be safe to say that, you could probably go on eBay and get a copperhead for $20. And then when that happens, they're going to become quite important. Like if they're not going to release, re-release or give us a retro, would
Yeah.
and not do
So
it
I
with the
could see him
thing where,
giving a retro at that point.
right.
Maybe, yeah. One of those
Yeah.
lazy retros is basically just because you didn't get it the first time, which I guess
Right.
makes some
Or
sense.
do like Star Wars the Black Series does and start re-releasing some of them, in a different, backing. Because they're due for some re-releases.
Right. Yeah, they really are. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Copperhead's Wild Bill's lost cousin raised in. I did not know that. Where's that from? I'm not aware of that.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. So the water, one of my favorite things, the water moccasin is the same thing I would do with both the water moccasin and the next one, which is our last item. Believe it or not, we made it through, which is both had a fan blade, hovercraft fan blade, right?
Nice. I love it.
I think did we go through everything? Yeah, we went through everything except this. So this is
was the Slugger from '83 and it's
re-released? God damn it, we missed the Slugger. It's so boring that I almost forgot it. This thing, it's not that you're glad you have one. When you're a kid, you got a Slugger, you're like, okay, that's cool, but it is not the most exciting of vehicles, nor is the Driver.
Yeah.
But what are you? That's my take. Anyway.
Right. I actually thought the Slugger looked pretty cool. There was something about that big ass barrel and the fact that it didn't have tracks, because you could kind of, I don't know. There was something about it that I kind of liked. I thought it was cool. And I've recently seen the guy who made the snake armor missile launchers. He 3D printed a Hiss colored one, a black and red one, and it looked fucking awesome. God, it looked awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I thought a lot of that. I think I liked the box art.
I used it a lot. I'd love the shovel on the back to put it stationary because to keep the recoil back. From But I enjoyed it. I liked it. Thunder, he was kind of a boring figure, but at least it came with a figure. It was just to me that was just another Joe to have.
That shovel was another thing where you could use it to kill a Cobra in an accidental way, one of those doesn't make any actual sense, but you would do it anyway.
Right.
Just shoveling one of those guys in half. I love how brutal. It's so funny because it's when you think about it, it's He-Man shied away from all violence, and G.I. Joe, they jump out of a plane.
They blow up the tank and the guy would jump out.
And then all of us were playing and they were using the fang and the rotor blades were cutting cold, you were shooting it down and it would fall and it would cut 5 Cobras in half and heads would be rolling and you'd have people using weapons, buzzer be chainsawing heads off. You got it was brutal and bloody.
Yeah, I mean you had figures with swords. You got to stab somebody at some point.
Right.
Okay, Melted Copper is back. Awesome. It would be Anchor, but where is Anchor Viper without her pants? Who scared her off? Anchor Viper's just very busy trying to deliver on the
Kickstarter
on her season 2. She will be back. We are actually busy scheduling the horniest G.I. Joe moments video. We are 100% doing.
Nice.
As G.I. Joe is the horniest of all IPs, I think. Is that true? It might be, but it's definitely the horniest of action figures from the 80 IPs.
At least the cartoons were.
Definitely.
Yes.
100%.
Everything about it. It's just so.
I mean, He-Man, you could say, but it's not the same horniness, I guess. But
it was.
I said
He-Man, maybe, but not to the same degree.
He-Man wasn't. It should be, but it's
He-Man,
not. It was
He-Man was more of a implied closeted thing where G.I. Joe was straight up right
in your face.
Flint chasing Lady J around, obviously, trying to get a handful.
Yeah. Ooh. Although I would imagine all of us were imagining in our head canon or when you're playing, He-Man was banging Tila because both of them are wearing almost clothes.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's
I forget which episode it is, but I was watching one today of G.I. Joe that It was the one where Flint and Lady J are. I think it was they were in the Arctic or something, and Alpine keeps wanting to insinuate that he wants to, to hook up with her, and then Bazooka says, well, if you're not seeing anybody, I'll go with you. And Alpine makes a comment, and Flint's is like, no, and she's like, well, way to keep a girl single or something.
I do not remember.
And
that.
he's like, I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
And then there's the one. Then there's the one where Flint thinks that she's hooking up with the guy Ron. I can't remember who he was to her or whoever, but Flint goes full on jealous and starts acting like a crazy person. And even the people around him are like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's a good one.
There's also a shit ton of sexual harassment in
G.I.
Joe.
Oh, yeah. Like, wouldn't you have loved to have been the HR person in G.I. Joe in the 80s?
There's like in the comic book, there's like multiple times where Scarlet almost kills Clutch because he is like sexually harassed, and she is going to beat the fuck out of him.
Right. And Shipwreck also always had an air of just inappropriate.
Completely.
He's always sexually harassing everybody he's around. He is the horniest person. He's the horniest cartoon character next to Pepe Le Pew.
Oh, next, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No,
I don't know. Polly's pretty bad too.
Yeah.
All right, our final item of the night, and obviously one of the greatest things, for my opinion, greatest toys of my childhood.
I wanted one of these so bad, but I was not allowed to get it.
No, I was huge.
A friend of mine had it, and it was the greatest, greatest toy. I mean, you could put 9 figures on it, and
at least you could put a lot inside of it.
Right.
Yeah.
He had that, and he had the shuttle Tidarian from Star Wars.
Nice.
To me, those were the 2 coolest things that they were out at that time. But oh my god, I used to try to take that thing home with me all the time.
So good, yeah. It was so good. It could go on the land and go on the sea. It was just loaded out with weapons. You had the depth charges. One of my favorite things to do was punch somebody through the blades, because the back deck of it was big enough to have a fist fight.
Oh yeah,
so you have this fist fight, and somebody would punch somebody, and they would end up going through the blades.
But it also had the sled and the motorbike or the.
They were the 2 coolest parts. I swear, it just made
even to me, Cutter was cool.
Oh yeah.
I love Cutter. Yeah, he's a Boston dude. He's a little bit of a dickhead, as a Boston Red Sox fan, so he's an asshole.
Right.
As a person who's from the Boston area.
And somehow, even in that safety orange regular grandpa life jacket, he still looks cool.
Yeah. Now that motorcycle, it was a cool idea, and I guess it's based on a real thing.
It is it's a little electronic bike, and that little sled thing is also awesome. And it had depth charges too.
Injected.
Yeah. You remember the mopeds back in the day? That's what it kind of reminded me of.
Right. Yeah, definitely. But this is just it's. So I don't know if they'll ever be able to do it in classified. My guy local that I know had bought one, the pieces printed, and he put it together, and it's it's as big as you think it is. But as the playability for this, for me as a kid, was just off the charts. Like you said, land. It was either you can go land and water. Those the 2 components that came off of it, I thought were ridiculous. You could put damn near your whole Joe force in or on that thing. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I saw somebody that had one sitting next to a flag with a Sky Striker on it, and the whale almost comes up to the deck of the flag, and it's as long as the Sky Striker. So I mean, I'd love for them to make it, but I doubt very seriously that they could.
Well, I don't think it's any longer than the Rattler, and it's definitely not as wide.
Right.
So, I mean, it would definitely be more expensive, but they did the Ghost for the for Star Wars. They did the sail bars.
Yeah,
they could totally do it, but it would be like 500
at
least.
Right. Huh.
Yeah. Maybe interesting to see.
messages. We can see your messages.
Yeah, I can.
All
Yeah,
right.
I can see you, brother.
We missed you before. These people are perverts.
Or
Why
at
are we
least I can see that
perverts,
one.
dude? No, I am a pervert, but you shouldn't know that. Necrophil. Okay. Melted copper. Anyway, so amazing. I think they should definitely be able to do one. I think they got to do one. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it would be huge, but to me, it's like nothing's more unruly than this fucking.
Yeah,
No,
right.
it's true.
This is
Like,
good, man, Betty.
this thing is unruly. I can't. Like, I could fit a whale better than I could fit this because I could put it on a shelf. But this, try to put this on my shelf display. You got yours hanging from the ceiling, Rich. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Well, I tried to put it
For
on the
me,
shelf,
like-
and I had to fold up the back
The
wings,
wings. Yeah, definitely.
and it still
Right.
hung off the edge.
Wait, it doesn't even work to fold up the back. What do you mean?
No, you can pop it out, and the wings will actually fold up into a like a U.
Oh, okay. But that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't,
display-wise,
because
so
you
that's
see the
kinda-
wing, and it looks like
Yeah.
it's just got a broken wing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You could put the whale. I mean, the whale would be huge, but it would. Well, maybe it wouldn't fit. I don't know. I think they could do it though. To me, it seems like they should be able to do it.
Well, I mean,
And-
I would say it's not all points, but a lot of signs are pointing to that the HasLab this year might be a moray, right? So if it's it's definitely gonna be a Cobra one, or at least in theory, it's supposed to be a Cobra one. And if you think about all the other vehicles, like what, all roads seem to be leading to a moray. And then if we get a Cobra water vehicle, it's not too far to say that we could get a Joe water vehicle the year after, and perhaps it might be the whale, So
Well, it seems like that's
because
what
the
they're
moray
doing.
would be longer. Sorry,
Oh, it seems like that's what they're doing. Because obviously they've been switching between Cobra and Joe with the vehicles that they've been putting out for the HasLabs, and we're even seeing that because we're getting the Snowcat, we're getting an Arctic Hiss. So it would make
Right.
sense that if they're going to do a water vehicle for Cobra, to do a water vehicle for Joe.
yeah.
Yeah. I think if the moray would be not as wide as but it would be longer than the whale, I believe. But it would just be a long, thinner kind of. I think the moray is doable. It might be a little more expensive, but it's, to me, moray is maybe my favorite vehicle. It might be my actual favorite vehicle in the entire.
It's
line.
ridiculous.
But
It's
Metro Joe says I'm drinking so much.
Yeah, nice. It is so crazy, the moray. I hopefully that is what happens. I'll love to get it.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
All right. Favorite. Okay, so we've gone through everything. Great year. Arguably the best year of G.I. Joe. I think I'm still going 1985, but I think this would be my vote for number 2. I know Destro Designs, you said 86 is maybe yours. I get that. But okay, what's your favorite? Well, we'll end for the night by going through favorite figure, favorite vehicle. What stands out to you? Oh, sorry, favorite figure. And Rich, since you're the guest of honor here,
Thank you.
we'll let you start us off.
Favorite figure would be Zartan.
Good choice.
And
Good
favorite
choice.
vehicle, I'd have to go with the water moccasin. Because those are the two I use the most.
Really? Okay.
Or that or the Skyhawk,
yeah.
because those I literally use the Skyhawk for everything, kind of like the cartoon.
True.
Yeah.
True.
It's such a quick, maneuverable vehicle. So I 100% get it. It's like the little vehicles were easier to just like work with. I feel like
the Skyhawk. I mean, the modern moccasin definitely over the Skyhawk for the sole reason of it came with a figure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Definitely.
I think if I have to go favorite figure, I think I'm actually going to pick Scrap Iron. I think Scrap Iron beats out Firefly by like that much, but definitely does. I'm telling you, like I said, when I seen that missile thing in the card art, and I was like, oh my God, and it delivered. Like getting that excited about seeing the picture of something, getting it home, taking it out of the package, and it's just, and again, it helps too, because I can't not unthink about how awesome the classified is. So that just like she's just. I also thought I want to give him his due because I really think he could have been a much more used character as well. Like how awesome, just so much untapped potential there. But yeah, I probably have to go Scrap Iron, and I know it's an obvious choice, but I just have to go with the whale, and that's not to say anything about like the moccasin is a great choice. It's an iconic vehicle. Like when I think of Cobra Water, first thing I probably think of is actually the moccasin, but I have to go with the whale. It's just too big. It's too awesome. Too much cool shit on there.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna agree on the whale because that was my Christmas present of that year. That was my big Santa Christmas present of the year, and it was mind blowing. And it holds up. We have one of those like Intex pools, like those like pools you assemble in the backyard, and it floats. So I brought it out a couple years ago. Actually, most of the GI Joe vehicles float pretty well. Water moccasin floats, that floats. And it just holds up as one of the best things ever made. For figure, I'm gonna go with Storm Shadow. Storm Shadow.
Good choice.
Zartan and Storm Shadow pretty tied, but I would say Storm Shadow. And then if I had to go, all right, so we all picked a villain. Everybody picked a villain. The villains are always the best. Cobra's way better than GI Joe. All right, who's your favorite Joe of the year then?
Ooh,
who did we have? We got
this is a great year.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say Duke, but Blowtorch was such a cool, different figure.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna have to go Blowtorch.
Okay,
that is a great choice. I'm torn between Mut and Junkyard or Spirit, to be honest with you. I think
I forgot about Spirit. Yeah.
I think I could go with either one and be happy. Yeah, the Mut and Junkyard's so strong because of all the different components to it, but Spirit, bro, is just a fucking elite figure.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, I can't argue with that. I think same. Spirit. I think Spirit.
Nice.
It's definitely Mutt. The figure's incredible. The face sculpt's incredible, but that Spirit's more like he's more the hero, whereas Mutt is like very side character. Where Spirit, I feel like, is like lead.
He was more of the interesting character between the two.
I can dig that. But and when I think about the figures themselves, it's almost like, the bird is better than the dog, and Spirit is better than Junkyard. So I think I do have to maybe give him the edge for sure.
Yeah, but they're pretty neck and neck.
Right.
Yeah. Incredible year though. What a good year.
Yeah, for real. I mean, like I said, game change. Every year brought something else. Like it was the first 2 years were good. The first and it was the second. It was 83 that you saw the Destro, really got into it. It was like, wow, these are really awesome. And then after seeing these this year, you're like, oh yeah, I really don't think I want to collect anything else. And then when 85 came, it was absolutely nothing else. And then when 86 came, it turned me into a complete obsessed person. So yeah. For sure. Troop builders started coming in, though, like the snow serpent, the eel, they're just the coolest looking fucking things. So when those years started hitting, it was over. But yeah, this was the launch pad for sure.
Operative Duke vehicle, Rattler with Wild Weasel. Nice.
Those are good choices.
Oh, we got a vote for the Stinger. Nice. All right, well, I guess that wraps it up. We have made it through the year. I guess next time around, we have 3.5 hours. Next time, I will probably separate. I think we've got to the point where there's just too much shit. So
there's too many good figures. I mean, if you want to give each one their due, you're going to have to,
Yeah. I think we'll have to do figures, then vehicles, which is great. We'll spread it out.
More content.
Exactly. We're gonna fill time. We're gonna figure out what to talk about, right? Got to give excuses to meet up and talk to you all. So that's what this is all about. Melted Cop says, when is the refrigerator Perry getting a classified now with a Mike Ditka? That would be amazing.
That would be cool.
I don't even care about football, but I would be.
I know that Lenny and them said nothing is off the table. There's no figures that have been made that are off the table. There's no versions or no, from whatever universe. Right. They want to do Resolute figures at some point. So,
no, there should be figures off the table. Yeah. There should be I don't want to see Star Brigade.
Right.
The majority of Star Brigade is not interesting to me.
Now,
anyway.
I'll tell you what. I did figure out a way to get a couple of the Star Brigade figures and some of the oh god, I just lost the name of the
Mega Marines?
No. What are the bio ones?
Oh, the Eco Warriors?
The Eco Warriors. Thank you.
Oh,
I managed to get
Love
some of the Eco Warriors in the book and make sense. And probably give them some justice, too.
Nice. There you go. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
but yeah, it's been great hanging out with you all in the comments, and you two as well. Love to have you on again.
Yeah, anytime,
Rich.
man. I'd love it. It's great.
Yeah. What do you guys got going on that you want to tell people about? I know, Rich, you have a bunch of books out, right?
I do. I have for right now 3 different books that are out. The Joe one is hopefully going to be out soon. I have a vampire novel that's set in Victorian England or Victorian Europe that's called Soul Reaver. It's about a vampire that when he takes someone's blood, he steals their soul, and their consciousness becomes part of his own.
Oh,
so
cool.
It helps him along his journey. I have a dark, I guess you could call it a comedy called Angel Dust. It's about a character that dies and goes to heaven, only to find out that heaven's not what it's supposed to be, and tries to convince this quote unquote angel that life, no matter how shitty it is better than the alternative. So it takes him on a journey from his birth to when the point that they die to convince him that life is better than death. And then last year, my wife said, let's try something different. And she asked me to write her a romantic comedy. So I have one that is, I guess you could say it's Sweet Home Alabama meets Gilmore Girls meets just about any other romantic comedy out there, called Ruby Someday. It's about a Hollywood star that has to go back to her hometown and basically find the person that she loved, and left to become a Hollywood star. It's an interesting book.
Nice. Where will we find
they're on Amazon. I do have a website, rarayne.com, which
I'll link to that.
It's, bear with me, it's down right now because I'm doing some updates to it. So you can also go to my Instagram page, Rayne, and it's there. If you're interested in the G.I. Joe book, go to Protocol G.I. Joe. I have my own Instagram for that, where I put up some things. I've got some of the custom figures that I've made that are in the book.
Nice. Oh, and I've read it, and it's great. A lot of really good, really just a person who really knows the lore. So it's a lot of good lore and a lot of details. Very fun. So yes. Are you going to Joe? Operative D asks, are you going to Joe Fest? It's in Georgia. So
that's the problem. Most of the Joe cons are on the East Coast. I want to go. I'm thinking about seeing if I can go to Joe Fest. If the book is out, I should be there.
Nice.
But I'll definitely be at WonderCon and San Diego Comic-Con this year.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah, if you're there and you see me, just come by and say hi. If I have a copy of the book with me, I would definitely give you a copy.
Nice. I don't know if I'll make it to Comic-Con. I will be at Joe Fest. But awesome. Yeah. All right. I'll put links in the description. So
and I'd love to come back on and talk more Joe with you guys. It's fun.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Definitely can do a Dreadnoks episode. I'm here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great idea. What about you, Destro? What you got going on?
You can find me every Saturday night live from Viper Den Studios. It's every Saturday, 8 o'clock. Looks like March 7th. Stay tuned. Mark is going to come by and we're going to do the interview. It's going to be fun. I'm excited for that. So March 7th, mark that down. Something else, I can be found. Tuesday nights, I drop in Figure Fight Club. They're a cool group of guys. They have a thing. You can kind of show up and show off what you've got recently. And obviously, that's fun for me. I usually have something to kind of show. So that's not too bad. Those dudes are actually pretty cool. And something else, first, before I say something else, I want to thank you, Mark, for having me on. I feel like this has opened some doors for me. For sure, I get offered to do a lot of things, and I know it's because people see me here. I just know they do. And so I actually am now on the writing staff for Serpentor's Lair, which is it's a cool ass website. They have a great X account. The website is great. They have a couple. I just caught a couple articles, and all of a sudden I was like, Jesus, these guys, who's writing all this stuff? this stuff is amazing. Like, this is really good. And when I reached out, and he was like, well, actually, we have an opening. I guess the guy's close friend who has written for him for almost 20 years recently passed away. So they were looking to, have somebody try to step in. So I got some big shoes to fill. I'm going to drop like a short article or two a week. We'll start off there and see where it goes. But nothing so long. I know I'm very long winded, but I promise the articles will be very digestible. All GI Joe related largely. I'll probably every once in a while drop a real in-depth review of like a figure. I've seen a couple of those guys do that, and I think that's interesting because somebody did an article on Wolf Spider, and I thought that was cool because he's new. There's not like a lot of content about Wolf Spider because it's just So it's a really cool website. They talk about a lot of things besides GI Joe 2. It's like a general 80s nostalgia, and the guy was very cool. We're lockstep for how we just look at this, all of these different types of things. So I'm just going to do a little bit of writing over there. So you can probably, hopefully by the end of this upcoming week, I've dropped my first article. So that'll be exciting.
Nice.
Yep. Very good.
Very cool.
And that's it. Yeah.
All right. Shameless plug for myself. I just put out a video today about Etsy items, which is pretty weird and fun. And then I put out the Mythology of Street Fighter, and I'm working on some more of those. But big things coming up. I'm doing a thing on ranking the unproduced GI Joe figures and vehicles.
Ooh, nice.
I recorded, and then a big one that I'm really excited about is I'm dabbling occasionally into doing a fictional short story on YouTube. So I've done 2 of them already. One on Cobra Commander, one on the shorts on Soldiers, and I'm doing one. I've done one on Buzzer now, and the origin story of Buzzer. And that should be coming out soon, maybe a week or two.
So. I'm stoked for that. The Street Fighter was very good, by the way. I actually watched that this morning. I think about halfway through, my freaking phone rang. I was trying to have a day today where I didn't have to do any work stuff. That never happens anymore. Those days are long gone. But it was very good. I always learn so much from those videos that like again, I always go back to that Predator video. I feel like I learned so much about the Predator that I didn't. You don't know it's called a Yautja until I seen this video. Just shit like that. You're like, oh yeah, of course it's got like a name. It's not just
there's lore to everything.
Right.
The very complex and convoluted lore to all this shit.
Right. I mean,
your Bravestar one was really good.
Oh, thanks.
Yes. Also very good. Yeah, awesome. Very good.
But all right, well, it was really fun talking to y'all. And in the chat, thank you all.
Thanks for coming by.
We'll call it night to 3 hours for shit.